is her third, team fifth. Cougar foul, number 10, Sydney Freeman, her third, team sixth. Oakhill foul, 33, Andrean Trexler, her second, team fifth. Rebound bucket.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Chris Ballard, General Manager of your Indianapolis Colts. I'd like to welcome all the players, coaches, and families to the IHSAA State Football Finals. The Colts are grateful to be a part of a growing Hoosier football tradition and are proud to partner with the IHSAA. As an organization, we salute all your hard work and sacrifice to reach this point. We would like to wish all the teams the best of luck competing for a state title.
It's a gorgeous Friday morning in downtown Indianapolis, where inside Lucas Oil Stadium, 6 IHSAA football state champions will be crowned over the next 2 days. We kick off our coverage with 2A Round 2, a state finals rematch between defending champion Andrean and Evansville Mater Dei on the IHSAA Champions Network. And we welcome you inside Lucas Oil Stadium alongside Jan Bozier. I'm Pat Boylan. Hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. Well, Jan, for these two teams, all the cards are on the table now. They know each other very well. For Andrean, it's a shot at a second straight state championship. And for Evansville Mater Dei, that moment they've been waiting a year for.
Hey, I'll tell you, we're going to start this thing off with a big rematch. How about that? Both these teams, as you said, was here a year ago. Both of them have got here with defense, giving up just 15 points a game, and they can put major points on the board as well.
Let's take a look at our players to watch here this afternoon. And for Andrean, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, whether it's special teams, it's Drake Bowen.
He's a bruiser. The Notre Dame recruit can do it all on both sides of the field, averaging just shy of 8 yards per carry.
He is the running back, he's the middle linebacker, and he is the starting punter for Andrean. As we take a look at Evansville Mater Dei, it's a strong-armed senior quarterback.
And he's a big young man, too. 6'5", 220. He makes all the throws, the short throws, the long throws. If they give him time, he can put points on the board.
Mason Wunderlich, who helped lead Andrean at quarterback to a championship just a year ago, hopes to repeat here today. Let's take a look at our keys to the game. They're brought to you by Wilson Sporting Goods. State title runs deserve the very best, and for Andrean.
I'll tell you, maybe the biggest key of the game, time of possession. Pressure the Wildcats passing game, first down efficiency, stay on the field.
And for Evansville Mater Dei, looking for a little revenge here today, Jan.
No doubt about it. And I think they're going to do it through the air. They have got to give their quarterback time to throw. They're a team of big plays, and they have got to have run defense.
This is our time.
This is our time.
The energy, the hours that you put into it. You know, football is a 365-day sport. So to play as long as you can to week 15 in Lucas Oil is an incredible feeling, and we're humbled to be back here.
As one of 22 seniors, getting back to Lucas Oil Stadium has been a goal of ours since we walked off this field last November. Day by day, we've been working for this moment, and we're happy to be back.
It feels great being back, having a chance to win back-to-back titles. It would mean a lot coming from the region. Usually the South runs this, so it would really mean a lot, and for the younger kids, it'll be moments that they can cherish forever.
To go out on top one more time would definitely be a perfect ending to my high school career.
It would mean the world, again, to be the first team in Andrean history to win back-to-back state championships and just make my high school career complete.
To win another state championship would be awesome. It would be a dream come true.
Last thing I'll tell the guys is to enjoy it. You said the same thing to them last year. This is such a special moment. Leave everything on the field. You're going to remember this day for the rest of your life, so do everything you can to make sure it's the most memorable day.
Tonight you will see
what champions are made of.
Here come the Fighting 59ers.
We are.
We are the Andrean Fighting 59ers.
It all comes down to this.
2A championship starts now.
Welcome to the field, the Andrean 59ers.
One more game.
One more game.
The fact that we're back again, it's been a long journey to get here, but it's been a very exciting journey, and we're just excited for the opportunity to play Andrean.
You know, played 15 games, went all the way last year, and fell up short again, like I said, and this year just got to keep working hard, and got one more game left and want to make it the best.
I mean, it feels amazing to come back here. Last year I didn't get the opportunity to play because of an injury, but now I put in all the hard work to get back and to be here and to play with all my teammates. I mean, it's a great feeling.
It'd mean that I am the best in the state with the rest of my team. This is all a team, and that's what our goal is. It's been our goal for our whole lives.
It would mean everything. We have worked so hard all year, and we have one goal in mind, and that was what it was at the start of the season, and we're just working hard there.
It's a great opportunity. We've kind of took it one step at a time, and we're glad to be back. But it doesn't mean anything till we win it, so we're ready to go. For me and the other guys on the team, obviously we came up short last year and didn't feel good, and we just want to make sure this year hopefully changes and keep working hard and
be ready Friday.
The last thing I'll tell the players is to play with confidence, to play loose, and to play like they never played before. We're going for a state title.
1 win away from the state title.
Here come the Wildcats.
We are. We are. We are. We are.
We are. We are the Mater Dei Wildcats.
This is as big as it gets.
It's game time.
Welcome to Lucas Oil Stadium, the Evansville Mater Dei Wildcats. Well, Jan, so often a storyline when you've got two teams making their way to Lucas Oil Stadium is the experience factor. It's getting over the spotlight that this stadium brings. For these two teams, they've been here. That's less of a dynamic at play.
Well, that's true. And when you get comfortable, you play a little better. And I think that's a great point. That being said, there are a few players that didn't play a lot last year that will be key today.
If you're Evansville Mater Dei, you were even at halftime. You were leading early in the fourth quarter. That is when Andrean started to take over. How do you avoid trying to do too much too early?
Well, I think, what you got to do is play solid defense. We talked about that in the keys to the game. Mater Dei has a great defense. They need to control the tempo here.
Let's welcome in the third member of our crew on the sidelines here this afternoon. He's Chris May.
Thanks. Great to be with you, gentlemen. Looking forward to a great weekend of football. The obvious headline leading into this game is the rematch of last year's 2A championship. But there are other storylines to follow, including two head coaches who may be at opposite ends of their careers. Starting with Evansville Mater Dei's Mike Gable, a legendary wrestling coach with 12 wrestling state championships and a football state title to his credit. He has been very quick to deflect all praise to his students, praising them as student athletes involved in extracurricular and volunteer and service work. Meanwhile, on the Andrean side, head coach Chris Skinner very quick to point out he has 22 seniors on this squad. That's the biggest senior class he's had in 7 years leading this program. He said that regular season finale loss to Lowell was a shock to the system and refocused them to get them back here to Lucas Oil Stadium.
Chris, thank you, and let's take a listen in on the coin toss.
Won the toss. They deferred. They will kick. That way. Gentlemen, shake hands. Good luck.
So it'll be Evansville Mater Dei who will start with the football first. And a chance to set the tone here as they look for their revenge.
I'm always a get the ball first time guy. I know I'm probably wrong most of the time, especially when you have a dynamic offense like they do. They want to get the ball, set the tone, spread the field. Man, if they can punch one in early, once again, tempo and a lead is good for them.
Well, Chris talking about the head coach, Mike Gable there. He's in his 26th year as the head coach of Evansville Mater Dei. There he is early on in his career. He won a state championship in 2000, and so he's looking for kind of bookends around his career to bring it home here in 2022.
You know, both these coaches are just cool customers. You know, we talk to them, they're just mild-mannered guys, don't get excited. Their team just absolutely loves them. Talk to the players a little bit because a lot of them were there, and they absolutely just love these guys. They love each other and love these guys. That's big.
Chris Skinner, mild-mannered maybe during the game. You get him after the game in a win. Had the chance to do the post-game interview last year. He was in tears. This is an emotional leader of this 59er ball club.
Yeah, he played on some of these state championship games, and so it's everything to him. He's got more than just coaching here. His life is here. He played here, and so it's everything to him.
Chris Skinner was a player when Andrean won the state championship in 2004, an assistant in 2013, and the head coach for Andrean's 2021 championship a year ago. He has been involved in all three of the 59er state titles, all in different roles. And today they look for Little State history, the first back-to-back state championship opportunity here in Andrean history. In fact, this is just the third rematch in Class 2A. And the defending champion 1-1 in those games, and coincidentally, Evansville Mater Dei was a part of that previously. We talk about the 2000 state championship. They won in 2000, were runner-up in 2001. And today it's Evansville Mater Dei who hopes to flip that script.
You know, we only get to get 3 keys to the game. I could have about 10. But you want to get off to a good start. You'd love to play with the lead, set the tone. We'll see how Mater Dei does here.
It's Wyatt Stratman and Tanner Halbig back to return for Evansville Mater Dei. And Ethan Kost will get us started here. 6 games. In the next 2 days, we will crown 6 champions from Lucas Oil Stadium.
You know, Pat, we don't talk a lot about special teams, but let me tell you, they are key in these state championship games.
And Ethan Kost will get our weekend of football underway. Here is Stratman from the 10. Across the 25 to the 27. That's where the Evansville Mater Dei offense will take over. They managed just 1 touchdown in their appearance a year ago, and they are led by the strong-arm senior Mason Wunderlich, who Mike Gable also noted he's got a big arm, but he's gotten more accurate this year as well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of confidence from being here last year helps a whole lot because he's on the same page. He's got great receivers. We'll talk a lot about those receivers all day.
Wunderlich, a 6'5", 220 senior, and it's an Evansville Mater Dei spread offense. You will see 3, 4, at times 5 receivers on the field. And the Wildcats get underway with a run to Pierre up the middle. And Pierre picks up 8 on first down as we take a look at the Evansville Mater Dei Wildcats. Mason Wunderlich is the quarterback who makes everything work, but that receiving core, they've got a ton of depth.
They really do, and there's no substitute for really good experience on those wide receivers.
On 2nd down and 2, it's back to the ground, and a patient Pierre cuts back, and he has the first down for the Wildcats. Let's take a look now at the Andrean 59ers on the defensive side. Drake Bowen is the player to watch. Charlie Copen right next to him. Mike Gable called him the secondary leader of our defense.
You know, we talk a lot about their passing game, and rightfully so, but we talked off camera. They're very balanced running and passing.
They open up with 3 straight runs, and Pierre making it pay off. Oh, the shifty Joey Pierre. He's just 5'8". He's tough to bring down.
Yeah, I've always said those guys that are low to the ground, good speed, and, man, they are so difficult to bring down.
The 5'8" senior ran for over 1,000 yards this season.
Look for the cut right there. He just does a great job because he has his head up. He can see the field, and that allows you to shift your feet.
And Mater Dei already into Andrean territory. Here's a first look through the air. It's a quick toss out into the flats. And a first down for the Wildcats as Owen Wunderlich brings that one in for Evansville Mater Dei.
And that's a great call. They run, and then they'll want to spread the field. They want to keep Andrean's linebackers really guessing at times if they can.
Wunderlich, of course, one of the relatives of the quarterback. Here is Mason Wunderlich, who picks up 4 on the ground on a design quarterback run. And this is just to keep Andrean honest. He's a good runner, a powerful runner, and this is an area that he's added to his repertoire a little bit more this year.
Yeah, you're right, Pat. He doesn't run it a lot, but listen, when you're 6'5" and got the power that he has, you can be effective.
Evansville Mater Dei put up 30 points per game and over 350 yards of offense as they'll go back out into the flat. Drew Martin breaks a tackle. Martin inside the 30.
Well, I love the rhythm right now of the Wildcats. Spreading the field again. And that has to be on key. Real accurate throw, and it was. Yards after catch, about 5. Big play.
Mater Dei has 5 different receivers who have caught 20 passes or more this season. as they go quickly here with Pierre. Well, this time is swallowed up after a pickup of 2. But there's so much to defend here if you're Andrean.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we talk a lot about rhythm in offenses, and you can kind of get that feel when an offense gets in a rhythm. Their plays are called well, execution is great.
Wunderlich on second down. It's another design quarterback run, and Andrean ready for it. Wunderlich picks up 1. It'll set up 3rd down and long here for the first time for the Wildcats.
You know, we talked about tempo. They want to slow this game down a little bit. Stay on the field like we talked about.
Evansville Mater Dei has a couple of kickers that they're really comfortable with. Tyler Sitzman, and then Cam Marks has the bigger leg. See what Gable draws up here on 3rd down and 7. It's complete. Ethan Stoles, he'll take it in. Stoles on the play action. And an opening drive touchdown for Evansville Mater Dei.
You just felt it. Great rhythm. They really executed this series from the get-go. Just a solid pass in stride, in the hands, to the end zone.
Well, you talk about that big arm from Wunderlich. It comes in use in the short game as well. That ball is on a line and right on the money.
What you really like about that drive, both the run and the pass were very effective.
Tyler Sitzman puts it through. Mason Wunderlich with his 28th touchdown of the season. The most important here on the opening drive.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Inspired by touch, by play, by listening and laughter. Inspired by family gatherings and one-on-one conversations. Inspired by long walks, long lives, and lives simply lived well. Inspired by compassion, by healing, by grace and strength. What inspires us at Franciscan Health is you. Franciscan Health, inspiring health.
Some people see a huddle in the locker room. We see a second classroom. Some see a student athlete on the court. We see a future leader in the community. You see, high school sports in Indiana are special. That's because they're about learning and growing, not just winning and losing. Fans, I'm Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support education-based athletics in Indiana by buying a ticket to your high school's next athletic event.
Welcome back inside Lucas Oil Stadium, the 2A state championship. And Jan, for Evansville Mater Dei, you wanted them to stay on the field. You wanted them to strike first. Check and check.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Coach Goebel wanted to get that opening drive with good tempo, get some rhythm going, and they did it with execution and perfection.
And Mason Wunderlich was ready to go. 3 of 3 for 38 yards in that touchdown to his senior, Ethan Stoles. Evansville Mater Dei and Andrean were held scoreless at halftime of this game a year ago. It was a low-scoring affair until Andrean broke out late and are out to a 21-9 victory for the 59ers.
Well, you talked about the lessons learned from a year ago. You understand in this state championship, there's very little margin of error. Everything has to be so precise. A lot of pressure, but you got to execute in the big game.
Cam Marks will send it back, and here is Micah Jones from the 5. Jones across the 25 to the 27. And that'll bring out the Andrean 59er offense. And there is the quarterback, Billy Henry, the 6'0 senior. Not the quarterback who started this game last year. That was Scott Ballantyne, who is a junior. Ballantyne got hurt early in the season, and Chris Skinner has used both of them to get to this point. But boy, this Andrean offense has a lot of balance. They average 147 yards on the ground and an incredible 147 yards through the air. And on first down and 10, it's a little pitch to Jones, who's hit in the backfield. And here are the Andrean 59ers. You'll see Drake Bowen, the middle linebacker. He is also the star running back, ran for nearly 1,700 yards this year. And Andrean's got a slew of great receivers as well. Maybe the most wide receiver talent of all 6 games on the field here for our opener.
Well, how about this? Your replacement quarterback throws for over 1,800 yards.
And here is our first look at Drake Bowen trying to bounce it to the outside. And Bowen got maybe one before Tanner Halbig came in, the safety, to make the tackle. And Halbig, a big part of that modern-day defense, led by Mitch Adler, the outside linebacker, who had over 100 tackles and 3 sacks for the Wildcats this season. Well, 2 plays, 0 yards here for Andrean. They'll test the arm here early of their quarterback, Billy Henry. Mater Dei showing blitz on play action. Henry scrambles. Henry has to throw it away. And how about this start for Evansville Mater Dei?
Well, we talked about pressuring the passing game. It always doesn't have to be against the quarterback. There was nowhere to throw that ball. The secondary was spot on. Boy, that's exactly what you want to do, is get Andrean in 3rd and long and force him into this punting situation.
Drake Bowen is also the punter. There's Tanner Halbig standing back at his own 35. Bowen, a sidewinding kick. Halbig, he's leveled. Jack Salzizer, the senior, comes in to make the tackle. As Evansville Mater Dei comes out here for their 2nd offensive possession after a touchdown on their first. Here's a look at Evansville Mater Dei. They're way down there in southern Indiana. Joe Herman, the athletic director, an enrollment of just over 500 out of the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference. They've won 1 state championship. It's been 22 years.
Now, wouldn't Mater Dei love to get a second score here and force Andrean to have some pressure on them?
Little bubble screen. Stoles is going to throw out of it, and he just overshot his receiver. That was well defended.
Yes, it was, but I love the call. Listen, they are forcing Andrean to stretch this field. You better respect all aspects of our offense. Let's see how close this was. He had a little step on him, man. If that pass is a little more accurate, he had a shot at it.
He was looking for Isaac Gable, who is the 5th wide receiver out of this Evansville offense. Back to the ground. Pierre's been successful so far and picks up 4 on 2nd down.
And here we are at 6:30, and Andrean's only had 4 possessions offensively. This is a recipe for Evansville that is absolutely what they want to do. Keep this offense on the field, keep the clock running.
Time of possession heavily in the favor of the Wildcats here so far. Just under 2 minutes for that Andrean offense on the field. On third down, it's play action and through the arms, nearly intercepted. A penalty flag does come down. We'll check on it.
Boy, he tried to rocket that one in. There wasn't a lot of room there, but tried to put it in there. I think this is going to go against modern day.
Mark Hopper is your wide hat.
Ineligible receiver. Downfield. Decline. Fourth down.
That was Blake Curtis, the intended receiver. So Andrean gets a stop on their second defensive possession as they look to settle in here after a 3-and-out on their opening drive.
You know, and the other thing that Andrean does is play field position too. They love their defense to get their offense the ball in really good field position.
Luke McDermott with the angled kick. Here is Jones from the 25. Jones trying to bounce it and will be taken out of bounds at the 38 as Billy Henry and this Andrean offense ready to come out for their second possession on the IHSAA Champions Network. The Andrean 59ers have won 3 state championships in school history. Today they go for history, looking for their first back-to-back titles. But it's Evansville Mater Dei who's jumped out to an early 7-0 lead here for Chris Skinner. Your first offensive possession, 3 plays, 0 yards, under 2 minutes of offense.
Yeah, let's see if they can get that running game going. That first possession just didn't look all that crisp. Let's see if they can pick it up here a little bit.
Drake Bowen, who had 358 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns. An Andrean semi-state win. And here is Bowen, straight up the middle. And just a couple so far Mater Dei's been ready for.
Yeah, here's what you got to do. Defensive line, stay low. Gang tackle, get him stopped, hit him early.
Bowen has crossed the 1,700-yard mark on the season, had 26 touchdowns, and accounted for all 3 59er touchdowns in their state championship a year ago.
But he gets by that line of scrimmage and has some room. That's when he's dangerous, when that big frame's got some momentum behind it.
Henry on second down and 8, play action. It was tipped and nearly picked. Spencer Turner got his mitts on it as Henry was looking for Patrick Clax, and just like that, it's 3rd and long again here for the 59ers.
Well, he had his eyes in the right place. Boy, got a hand on that. Almost was able to get the other hand on it.
So Henry has opened 1 of 3 through the air. That completion actually went for negative yardage. Senior has been tested here early. Mater Dei showing blitz. Henry with time to throw. He'll loft it up. Man-to-man coverage. And Clax couldn't bring it down. A second straight 3-and-out for Andrean.
Let's take a look at the wide receiver here, Pat. Man-to-man coverage. Knows exactly where he is. Key here, he sees the ball. At the last second, he just runs out of real estate.
That's Drew Martin, the 5'10 senior. Draped on Patrick Clax, who you could make a case is the best receiver that will play in this building all day. Clax with 74 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 14 touchdowns. He is quite the weapon.
Yeah, they like to get him in those one-on-one situations, especially in the long ball. Whoa.
High snap, Bowen just able to get it away. And it's over the head of Halbig, who will grab it at the 15. And a penalty flag is down. This one is coming back. Well, this will be assuredly the worst starting field position for Evansville Mater Dei.
You see that
in the first half.
You see that a lot, Pat. You get the block in the back where you're getting ready to block, and all of a sudden the guy turns. Not much it can do. You see that penalty a lot on the return team.
Block in the back on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Now, if you're Andrean right here, play field position. That's what we talked about earlier. Their defense is that good. Notice they keep pushing them back, pushing them back. This is a great starting point as far as the Andrean defense.
Well, we talked about Drake Bowen in the open. His prowess on offense, how dangerous he is on defense. We weren't joking. He's a weapon in all three areas of the field.
Absolutely.
And that punt there helps set that Andrean defense in pretty good field position as Evansville Mater Dei will start from their own 11. Here's Wunderlich, another QB design run on that right side. Mike Gable was asked about using Wunderlich a little bit more on the ground. He said, well, he's got good instincts, good strength. We're still waiting on that speed to come along, but he is a good runner.
You know, you talk about Drake Bowen. He leads his team in tackles with 137. 19 of those for loss.
Bowen is the leader in tackles, in sacks, in forced fumbles. Had a couple of interceptions as well. You can see why Notre Dame is thrilled to get that young man on campus. He's a baseball player, too. He does a little of everything. Some motion in the backfield, and they'll hand it off. This is Wyatt Stratman. We really have to be impressed so far with the defensive integrity of Andrean.
Yep, 3rd and long. That's where they want to play this. Let's take a look from the end zone. You want to stretch this out. Good pursuit, good hit. You know, a lot of people have asked me this week, who does he remind you of? The guy coming to my mind was Jack Kaiser from Pioneer, 2018 Mr. Football. Both sides of the field. He's a bigger addition, but he plays just like him.
Wunderlich on 3rd down and 6. Over the middle. Stoles couldn't hold it. It was broken up by James Mantle. And so Andrean, after giving up that opening drive touchdown, has put their imprint here on the first quarter. And really kind of what we expected for this to be a defensive matchup. Two of the state's better defenses really starting to settle in here.
Yeah, and for both teams who put a lot of points on the board, it always seems to be the defense in the championship games. It kind of controls the pace.
Luke McDermott out for the 2nd time here in the first quarter. The senior with an end-over-end kick. They'll take a Mater Dei hop. And Jones ushered out of bounds at the 44. Good field position coming up for Andrean on the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Champions Network.
Fans. And then there are fans. The diehards. They're those that don't just have a seat at a game, but a home away from home. The ones who made home field advantage a real thing. Who believe the horseshoe isn't just a logo, but a way of life.
It's 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. You have two choices. Option 1, take 2 nanoseconds to reach over and put on your seatbelt. Or option 2, decide it's too much work for a Saturday and don't put on your seatbelt. As the seatbelt alarm continues to sing the song of its people, you roll your eyes. You're just going down the block, you'll be fine. You take a turn to the left, and that's when you see it.
Just wear your seatbelt. It's an easy way to save your own life. The Indiana Criminal Justice Institute wants to remind you that choices matter. Click it to live it.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. The 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family. Or the day of your last car loan payment. Much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree. We care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Andrean earned a trip back to Lucas Oil Stadium riding the shoulders of Drake Bowen. Bowen carried 35 times for 358 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's a season for some guys. Racked up over 300 yards of total offense in a 48-29 win over Bishop Luers to allow Andrean an opportunity to repeat. Here's a look at how Andrean got here. Really comfortable wins the whole way. Although that Bishop Luers game was close in the first quarter, they started to pull away. Andrean in the second half. They have been the class of 2A here for the last 2 years. But it's been 2 drives for just 2 yards for Andrean in total. Great field position here as they start their third offensive possession. And it's Drake Bowen with a seam up the middle. And Bowen powers his way to a first down.
And that's where he'll take 5 yards and make it 10. If you let him have that first 3 yards, look out.
He was held to just 3 yards on his first 2 carries. This one goes for 12. And when you've got that workhorse in the backfield, although a workhorse a little hobbled here coming off the field.
You know, we kind of joke he never comes off the field, so this is pretty unique for him.
J.J. Bowles is his backup, and he had just 31 carries. Here's his 30 seconds, and he's swallowed up in the backfield.
Whoa!
Mitch Adler, the leading tackler, comes up with the hits.
I'm not sure Adler was even touched. Coming right at you. Man, I can only dream nobody would touch me on the defensive side. Wow, nobody touches him.
Gable said he's great at getting off blockers, didn't need to there.
Well, part of the reason he wasn't touched is they had a little stun on.
It'll set up second down and 15. Drake Bowen on the sidelines is the big story of the afternoon here so far. Henry on play action. The quarterback will keep it. Henry a pickup of 4. Third down and long. Coming up here for the 59ers, who were tested with an opening touchdown by Evansville Mater Dei, and at least for the moment are tested with their best player on the sidelines.
Well, they've made some long passes, but they really haven't got any flow in that short passing game.
Chris Skinner has a lot to figure out. Not exactly going to plan here so far for the 59ers. Henry with time to throw over the middle. He's got Clax, who holds it in right near that first down marker. Well, when in doubt, you look the direction of Patrick Clax III, his 75th catch of the year.
Well, the young man's got unbelievable hands. He gets up and just really went up and got that one. Good pitch and catch.
They have spotted him about a half-yard short.
Boy, that's what they needed. Just talked about that middle passing game. For the first time, they got something.
The freshman J.J. Bowles stands in the backfield here on 4th down and 1. Henry will give it to him. Bowles has to break a tackle, and a nice bit of running there by the freshman who's been thrust into the spotlight. He moves the chain.
Yeah, second, third effort is what got him this first down. Good blocking. You see the pole guard there. Boy, 59ers needed that. Good execution up front.
Bowles, a 5'11 freshman, and really just in mop-up duty this season. And now the freshman is thrust into, at least for the time being, the starting running back role in the biggest game here in program history. Here is Bowles off the left side. You can see it. There's a big difference between Bowen to Bowles in the backfield.
Oh, no doubt about it. Bowen hits the line of scrimmage with so much power. You see him get his ankle tape right there.
Well, you know that kid is as tough as anybody in this building. If he can be back out there, he certainly will. Evansville Mater Dei. Well, they struck first last year. They strike first again today. It comes on that opening drive. The Wildcats have a 7-0 lead as the first quarter comes to a close from Lucas Oil Stadium on the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Champions Network. Evansville Mater Dei with an early 7-0 lead here in the 2A state championships from Lucas Oil Stadium. Let's head down onto the field now at Lucas Oil Stadium. We're joined by Chris May.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be joined by the IHSAA Commissioner, Mr. Paul Neidig. Commissioner, welcome. Tell us about a special partnership the IHSAA has going on.
We have a phenomenal partnership with the Indiana Department of Health, and it's the Tobacco Cessation Program, and we're really here to really focus on trying to educate teenagers on the harm of vaping does. And you know, it's very important, we feel, that to educate them, and that's what we've done with our partnership.
Obviously, we hear so much in the news coverage, vaping, trouble with youth at school trying to do this. So are there any specific measures that are taking place through this initiative?
Well, certainly. We have a presence in school. We really use our social media channels to direct the messaging to parents, first of all, to schools, and then for the student athletes themselves, and for all students for that matter. You know, vaping is such a harmful thing. It's not like it's something that is just safe for everybody to use. We already know that there are chemicals involved, and nicotine and other chemicals that are not even identified in the packaging that students are ingesting when they vape, and we want to make sure that they're just safe, and we want them to live a long life and prosper and not get involved with things that are bad for their health.
Thank you very much for your time, Commissioner.
Thank you.
The Andrean 59ers here on their third offensive possession. They've got something working, and they've got Drake Bowen back in the backfield, although it's play action here and a quick out to Patrick Clax. Well, this is the storyline of the game, Jan. Drake Bowen, is he available, and is he at 100%? The running back, the middle linebacker who had to leave earlier in the possession.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. We see him tape the ankle, and most of the time, if you get that tight enough, you can play pretty strong. He's a tough kid. I don't think it's going to slow him down.
On 3rd down and 4, here is Bowen sidestepping a defender and dives towards that first down marker. Bowen got close. He looked pretty healthy there, and he needed to make a big cut. to avoid that pressure in the backfield. And it is 4th down and 1.
He does such a great job of reading his blockers.
Bowen on play action, they'll go to Clax. They've got it for the first down. Clax stays on his feet. Oh, what a gutsy play call by Chris Skinner, and it pays off.
Well, Bowen gets all the attention, and so he freezes the linebackers right here. Little risky, maybe not, because this guy's got sure hands, and they get the first down.
Oh, and you've got a guy like Patrick Clax. It makes you a lot more confident in throwing the ball on 4th and 1.
In a game like this, you have to take some risk.
That first down marker stands at the 1-yard line. Here is Bowen up the middle, steps over a defender, and gets to the 6.
Well, I can tell you, tackling young men that are that big and they're that strong and have that much momentum is no fun. You've got to stop him early and then get help.
Bowen with 5 carries for 18 yards. So far, the modern-day Wildcats have been able to keep contain on what might be the Mr. Football recipients when the season is all said and done.
Blitz.
Modern Day showing blitz. It's back to the ground. Bowen spins near that 1-yard line. They can get a first down without scoring.
Well, here's the problem with the blitz. Take a look. If you don't get him, you're thin in the linebacker area. So he got through.
And they will move the chain. So first down and goal for Andrean. And Drake Bowen, who exited earlier in this drive, is back on the field. Bowen had all 3 touchdowns in this game a year ago. See if they look his direction here as they look to even the scoreboard. Henry to Bowen. Touchdown, Andrean. There is a flag on the far side of the field, so we'll check on that. But for the moment, Andrean has answered.
Really hard to keep him out of the end zone. And that's going to be against Andrean. We're going to move this one back. We'll see if we can find where the movement was.
Not enough on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, not enough men lined up on the line of scrimmage.
An illegal formation is the call. Going on the end of that left side of the line.
Yeah, that'll drive a coach crazy. You're right down there where you want to be, and a minimal mistake happens. Can't do that.
So now it's first down and goal from the 6. On play action, Henry to the air. It is tipped. A dangerous pass falls to the turf.
Really interesting call. A lot of times those tip balls mean interception. They get away with one there. Trying to spread the defense out.
Cooper Darr got a hand on it. The senior defensive end.
Well, if you're Andrean here, Pat, you've got to get something in the red zone.
This time it's Bowen, right side, tripped up at the 3. A nice tackle. He had a big hole, but it closed quickly.
That was a very good tackle. Take a look at this coming right at you. Boy, that's a tough stop. But he got him low. If you're going to bring him down, you got to go low.
Connor Wiley making the tackle. And here is third down and goal from the 3. What you have to imagine is 4-down territory for Andrean.
Big down.
Bowen stuffed in the backfield.
How about that?
A loss of 2.
How about that?
Now maybe you're rethinking things here. The field goal unit will come onto the field.
Clay Martin, number 52, goes down low.
This is P.J. Cusick.
How about that goal line defense? That doesn't happen very often, I can tell you that.
Cusick is 3 of 4 on field goals this year, as long as 27. This one from 23, it's a low snap, and Cusick puts it through. It's a field goal for Andrean, but a defensive stop for Evansville Mater Dei in the red zone.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
My life has changed tenfold. I mean, from what I was doing prior to sheet metal, I can't even express how great it's become.
Future's bright in this industry because it's not going away.
With the union trades, I am earning an associate's degree without any college debt whatsoever.
Right now is one of the greatest times to start this process. With our benefits packages and our retirement packages, we're very tough to beat.
Hey, Indiana. Let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
Evansville Mater Dei raced out to a 24-0 lead over Linton Stockton in their semi-state game. Mason Wunderlich, there's that big arm, connects with Luke McDermott. A 48-yard touchdown pass. Tanner Albig would return this kickoff for 84 yards. And Mater Dei punches their ticket back to the finals, 51-28. As you take a look at their tourney trail, and their closest game came in that regional to Triton Central, who was number 6. A little hard for me to believe when these two teams, Jan, were here last year that they weren't ranked 1 and 2. But Mater Dei and Andrean showing they should have been. These are the defending champion and defending runner-ups.
Yeah, and Linton Stockton, that was their only loss of the year, getting beat by Evansville Mater Dei. That was a huge win for the Wildcats.
That defensive possession, a huge win as well after Andrean got down to the 1-yard line and a timely penalty, which took a touchdown off the board. And Andrean instead had to settle for the field goal. Here is Ethan Kost. Albig trying to bounce it to the outside and taken down right at the 20-yard line. Well, Mason Wunderlich, who is 3 of 5 on the afternoon, has 38 yards and a touchdown. Back on the field, but so far you would have to say this game is being played at Mater Dei's pace.
No question about it. And the fact they were able to come away was just 3 for Andrean versus 7. That's still a huge stop.
Wunderlich, who will play collegiately, still weighing his options. On first down and 10, it's Pierre, the shifty senior, with a pickup of 4 on first down. It's a lead for Evansville Mater Dei in the state finals, something that they had last year at 2 different points. They went up 9-7 early in the fourth quarter. It's a game that head coach Mike Gable says still gives me headaches. Thinking back to.
I can understand why.
Pierre running straight forward, met at the line. And Brent Stewart, the nose guard, there to blow that one up right at the line of scrimmage.
Brent Stewart, a big young man, 6'4", 340. Big young man.
And just a junior. He will be a big part of what Andrean has going for them next year as well. Here's the spread offense for Evansville Modern Day. On 3rd down and 6, Wunderlich throws and wide open. Blake Curtis spun down at the 45. It's a pickup of 21 and a first down for Modern Day.
But you see that in zone coverage. If you get a catch in zone, let's see if it hits his helmet. Ding, it sure does, but stays on a spiral.
You talk about a big arm. You need one to be able to throw it off your defender's helmet. And still right on the money to Curtis.
That's like in basketball, off the glass, only off the helmet.
Mason Wunderlich banking that one in. And here is the senior with time to throw. It's a comeback route for Isaac Gable.
Well, and Evansville really spreading the field here against the zone. And they're finding these gaps. Evansville's a difficult team to play against when you play zone because they have such great receivers who can get open.
And so many weapons. 5 receivers who have caught 20 passes or more. They've got 7 who have caught double-digit balls on the year. Wunderlich will keep this one and pick up one over the middle.
I think we're going to look back at this next 5:54 when it's done and see exactly was Evansville successful in this 5-minute drive to get in the end zone, because this could be huge.
There is Mike Gable in his 26th season at age 70, looking to become the oldest head coach to win a state championship.
He doesn't look a day over 40, I can tell you that.
Pierre bouncing it right side. And Pierre with a pickup of 6. Gable was also the wrestling coach for 29 years.
Andrean runs a 3-4. So they need their linebackers to be able to fill quickly.
And Drake Bowen is on the field after leaving on the previous offensive possession after taking a hit from the running back position. He is far and away the leader of that defense. 3rd down and 3, play action, quick toss to Stoles. He had the touchdown. He's got the first down here for a moment, but let's check on that penalty flag.
Really interesting how Andrean's playing this right now. They're playing soft against these receivers, and they're just finding all kinds of room in that first layer of the zone.
So far, Mason Wunderlich has done a nice job of picking apart this Andrean defense. Has completed 6 of his 8 passes.
Well, and the more that they can stay balanced, that helps their cause as well. We talked about that.
Pass interference on the offense. Blocking wide downfield.
Well, they say he shoved off. Let's see on the ISO. Does he push off? Does he use his hands?
Well, I think they caught Owen Wunderlich underneath. I think they caught what they feel like was a pick play. So instead of the first down, we'll see where they spot this. Because the penalty, Jan, happened upfield, as of where they've got it marked right now, this is more or less a do-over. Well, now they start to mark it off.
Ends up being a big penalty.
How big is that call?
That's huge.
Instead of a first down, Evansville Modern Day will be looking at 3rd down and 18. Talk about momentum changing plays in this one. The penalty by Andrean that wiped out the touchdown. And that offensive pass interference, which is going to set up 3rd down and 18
But I will say this, if there is a team built for 3rd and 18, it's the Wildcats.
Wunderlich's got a huge arm. Wunderlich with time to throw. Wunderlich will loft it down there, and he underthrew Ethan Stoles, who got in behind the defense. But Wunderlich just couldn't get it to him. He knows he missed an opportunity there.
Well said, Pat. He was really open here, and Wunderlich just doesn't see that break. And man, he had at least 3 yards of separation. Missed opportunity there. He was wide open.
So Luke McDermott out to punt here for the 3rd time today.
Now, how big is that penalty now? They're going to turn the ball back over to Andrean.
Penalties so far on 2 of the biggest plays of the game here in the first half. McDermott looking to angle it toward the sideline. We'll see where they mark it. Out of bounds. Inside the 20. Watching the IHSAA Football State Championships presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Here's a look at the Andrean Fighting 59ers. Come out of Northwest Indiana, the Northwest Crossroads Conference. An enrollment of just under 500 students. A couple long treks here for these 2 schools to get to Indianapolis. There's a lot of red in this building right now. Some great support for both of these schools, both of these programs. As Billy Henry hands off to Bow, and a big seam up the middle, and a late penalty flag comes in. One of the big storylines here so far, they haven't been able to get Andrean Drake Bowen going, and on his biggest run of the day, they'll walk it back.
Wow. And right now, Andrean is 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay 1st down.
Let's see if we can find it. A lot going on in there, and that's where it was called. Boy, it just disrupts your flow.
Just 4 penalties, Jan, but they've all felt massive.
Yeah, it's always not so much how many penalties sometimes as when you get them.
1st and 15 on play action. Henry's pass is batted down at the line. We've referenced this, the Andrean quarterback situation. It's a little complicated, and for good reason. They've got 2 talented quarterbacks. Billy Henry, the senior, was a transfer last year, and it was Scott Ballantyne who started this game. But Chris Skinner said, we are not afraid to bring Ballantyne in for Henry if we feel like that gives us the best chance to win. Henry is 4 of 9 for 28 yards.
It looked like he threw that pass almost sidearm. It didn't have much elevation at all.
And now Chris Skinner wants to talk things over. Just 61 yards of offense and 3 points for an Andrean offense that put up 33 points per game, almost 300 yards of offense. Of course, things get a little different when you get inside Lucas Oil Stadium, and this Evansville Mater Dei defense has really been poised. They've been consistent, and they held Andrean scoreless in the first half of this game last year. Just 3 points here in the first half by Mike Gable's group.
Well, and these offenses are good. We talked about how many points they can score, but in the intro, remember, we talked about both defenses averaging just 15 points a game. Both defenses are really, really hard to score against.
So 3:48 to go here until we hit halftime. Here's a reminder of how things went last year. Mater Dei driving for the lead in the fourth quarter when Drake Bowen, who made the key plays on offense, that was the biggest play of the game, though, and it came on defense. Bowen then cashed it in, his third touchdown of the day. This game was 21-9, but a game that was much closer than this scoreboard shows. Mater Dei had 2 leads and a fourth quarter lead, but it was the Bowen difference down the stretch.
Bowen will play defense at the University of Notre Dame.
A baseball player as well.
Yeah, and he intends to play baseball there as well.
Could put him in as a running back in a pinch. The Fighting Irish could, and here is Bowen with a pickup of 4. So far, he's been held in check. Bowen with 10 carries for 32 yards. Tough to know if he's at 100% after leaving this one earlier. Missed most of that third Andrean drive.
Well, at the time you get here, your body has been beaten and battered. I don't care how tough you are, and he's as tough as they come. You're pretty banged up right now, but you got to play through it. You can rest all year long. Blitz.
Henry on third down and 13, lofts it over the middle, and he just missed his intended receiver, Angel Ramirez, who was in triple coverage. But Henry put a pretty good ball on that one, almost got it in there.
Yeah, he had some room. There was some separation there. The ball just was off. They don't send a lot of receivers out. Still had an opportunity there, just ball was not there.
Fourth down and 14. And Drake Bowen has been in this position more than Andrean would like. Back to punt. Oh, he did have a big punt to pin Evansville Mater Dei back earlier in the first half. Oh, and with another beauty.
Oh, great coverage.
And Halbig taken down back at the 37.
Great coverage.
It is a 47-yard net punt by Drake Bowen to get them out of trouble. You're good at being you. You've been you for years. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance is good at your insurance. Find an agent to help you think about it at infb.com. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood. So 2:52 left here for Evansville Mater Dei.
Jacob Jones on that quick tackle in special team. Justin Jr. Really good coverage though.
Wunderlich out of the shotgun. It's a handoff to Pierre, who tries to bounce it left side. And Pierre did well just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Pierre has 43 yards on the ground here so far today. But he has outdueled his counterpart, Drake Bowen, in the backfield, at least so far. And a big reason why Evansville Mater Dei has an opportunity to take a 2-score lead into halftime here.
How big was that opening drive? It really set the tone for Evansville. They've got a comfort going for them right now.
Wunderlich with time to throw over the middle. And Blake Curtis was hit hard on that high throw from Wunderlich.
Well, he knew Finley was going to whack him. So that's hard not to take your eyes off the defender, because this is one of those crossing routes, and this is no fun.
It'll take some courage to head over the middle there, doesn't it?
More than I had.
You've got Jimmy Finley tracking you down, running full speed your direction. Wunderlich fires right side. Caught by Stoll, short of the first down marker. That was Isaac Gable on the reception. Gable, who caught just 13 balls all year, has brought in a couple here today. And now a really interesting decision here for Mike Gable. His team's got the lead with under 2 minutes to go. Does he put the foot on the gas here? Well, he wants to run a little clock, or does he play it safe? Andrean just hasn't had much going in the first half. You don't want to give him that spark just before halftime.
Yeah, I think he's going to let the clock run down here. And there's the timeout called by Evansville.
The final 1:23 when we return. It's the 50th annual IHSAA Football State Championships on the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Champions Network.
Your identification and your address is correct. So next, would you like to be an organ and tissue donor?
That's a good question. Well, I think yes. I would love to be an organ donor.
In addition to Pacers basketball, my family's a big fan of two things: rescue dogs and great Connecticut water. So when we adopted Walter to join Bailey, he too gets his bowl of water right from our Connecticut K5 drinking water station. We take our water quality seriously, which is why we also have a whole home water treatment system. Improve your water like we do. Visit ConnecticutIndy.com for your free in-home water test. Connecticut, official sponsor of the Indiana Pacers.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
State finals will help make sure the resources are available so that great games like these can be played forever. By supporting the IHSAA Foundation, go to ihsaafoundation.org and make a tax-free contribution today. Great way to spend your money if you have a little extra here during the holiday season and want to do some good for these kids who are putting it all on the line. No one more than Drake Bowen, who's left with an injury, back on the field. And Mike Gable will send the punting unit out. This is Luke McDermott. A short kick will take a bounce at the 25. And Jones will let it keep on rolling to the 15-yard line. And now if you're Andrean here, Jen, you're looking for a spark. That said, you got to be careful. Not a ton of time left. And you've got over 80 yards of field in front of you.
Yeah, 7-3 is very doable. Your point is well made. You don't want to compound being behind by giving up something silly right here.
Wildcats, who have doubled up the 59ers in the yardage category. Evansville Mater Dei said the moment they lost this game, they started turning their vision to 365 days from now. They are here, and they have been ready.
And you know they wanted Andrean. You know in their heart of hearts they wanted to play this again.
Wunderlich on a 5-receiver set. Wunderlich all day to throw. It's a comebacker and caught.
Beautiful catch. Knew exactly where he needed to have his feet. Held him down and got the reception.
Henry there to Jacob Jones, who had to come back before the first down marker to make the grab.
Just need 1 foot in high school. Good catch.
That was Henry's best throw of the day.
Are you surprised we're at 7-3?
A little bit.
You just don't know. When defenses are this good, offense seems to stagnate a little bit.
Here is Henry looking left side. It's a dangerous pass. And did he catch it?
They said he did. There's your mistake.
Intercepted by Spencer Turner. And Evansville Mater Dei with 1:01 to play here until halftime will take over at the 33.
Well, I'm not sure where he was throwing it, but this could be a game changer.
Well, Spencer Turner, who has a tackle for loss, a pass breakup, and what an effort there to bring that one in, keep the ball from hitting the ground. And Evansville Mater Dei has been gifted terrific field position. 2 timeouts left, 61 seconds until halftime. Wunderlich all day to throw. Wunderlich over the middle. Put it right on the money. There's Drew Martin.
There's your D1 pass and catch right there. Take a look. Boy, he throws this on a dime. How about that?
Mike Gable said the biggest difference between last year and this year with his quarterback is his accuracy. Wunderlich has made all the throws here in the first half. Here's Wunderlich. Look at this job by the offensive line. Wunderlich tucks. Wunderlich tosses it. And Martin hit hard. And a penalty flag will come.
Now let's see what they call here. They may get bowling for going high. Or helmet to helmet. That was one hard stick.
Drew Martin comes out fired up.
A personal foul. Defensive player. Half the distance to the goal.
Well, this is where life, Jan, can be tough as a defender. You're looking to make a big hit, but if you don't time this right, they'll get you.
Oh, man, is that a hit. It's a safety thing. I mean, that's just the way he plays the game. It wasn't malicious. He just plays that hard.
First down and goal from the 9. Wunderlich tries the right side and is taken down right at the line of scrimmage. A little miscommunication in the backfield. That motion man nearly took the snap, and Mike Gable is going to take some time to talk things over.
And when they're talking about defenseless, they're saying the receiver does not see the tackler coming. It's a safety issue to make sure there's not an injury. And man, he hit him hard. I mean, he came at him clean. Sometimes those hits just have to happen, but it's a good call. It just is.
Well, and it's a tough line to draw if you're a defender. You're playing at full speed. You're running from across the field. But ultimately, you have to err on the side of player safety.
Well said. You have to. That's the way Drake Bowen plays. He plays that hard. And you can't back off milliseconds before you're about ready to make a tackle. It's just one of those things.
You're good at being you. You've been you for years. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance is good at your insurance. Find an agent to help you think about it. INFB.com. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood. There is Mason Wunderlich. Mike Gable really praised his maturity. Says he is a diligent film studier. That's not always what you hear from 17 and 18-year-olds. No, when I was that age, I was not interested in studying any sort of film. But it's what makes Mason Wunderlich one of the better quarterbacks here in the state of Indiana. And with his team on the verge of a 2-score lead heading into halftime. Wunderlich to the end zone. It's Stoles for his second touchdown grab of the afternoon. Ethan Stoles, touchdown Mater Dei.
And this is when a turnover really hurts. When you turn around and put it in for 6. Great throw. Knew that his receiver was going to make a cut, hit him in stride.
Well, again, Jan, when you talk about the big arm of a quarterback, so often people think about throwing it 50, 60 yards down the field. It's the ability to put that comeback route on a dime and not allow enough time for that defensive back to make a play on it.
Yeah, no question about it. And we talked in the opening that he can make all those types of throws.
Sitzman puts it through, and an Andrean error leads to Wildcat points. A touchdown on the opening drive and a touchdown on their final drive of the first half, as the Wildcats bookend what so far has been a brilliant performance here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Let's take a look at that big arm from the senior.
Yeah, he throws it before he makes his cut. That's key. There's no way you can defend that.
Ethan Stoles, who caught 9 touchdowns this season, had the opening touchdown and then the one just before halftime. And where the storyline of this game last year was defense and Drake Bowen, so far for Evansville Modern Day, it's been the arm of Wunderlich and Ethan Stoles out of that wide receiving core.
Yeah, and they have stayed on the field. The offense has executed, and the defense has played spectacular as well. Just really felt like they built good momentum from that opening drive, carried over to their defense. Their body language, their execution has just been really solid all this first half.
Well, if you're Andrean here, you've managed just 72 yards at halftime. You're down by 2 scores. You will be getting the ball to start the third quarter. And you do have a couple of really dynamic returners here, Micah and Jacob Jones. That's Micah.
Well, you talked about got to be careful not to make that big turnover. You don't want to turn this game into a larger lead, and that's exactly what happened.
Andrean had a touchdown called back due to penalty that led to a field goal on the drive, and then an interception deep in their own territory. That's about a 10-point swing in what is an 11-point Modern Day lead. Cameron Marks will opt for the squib. And Evansville Modern Day will have Antonio Barnes inside the 40. 12 seconds left here. Chris Skinner not afraid to roll the dice, but it was a Billy Henry interception the last time he did so. See if Skinner has anything but taking us to halftime on the mind here. And off, Drake Bowen will be held to 40 yards rushing in the first half.
And that's the storyline, quite honestly, within itself. The fact that he only has less than 40 yards here in this first half.
So Andrean will take a timeout with 8 seconds to go. Well, I guess you've got a big play threat in Bowen out of the backfield. Maybe you give him a couple of chances to break one off.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'll tell you, I think what Andrean needs to do is just go into halftime and regroup a little bit. They made a mistake. Listen, they're only down 11. You don't want to make another mistake. Just, if I were them, I'd go into halftime, regroup, and come out and really get focused for the second half.
Better educated coaches produce better athletes. You can help give high school coaches the training they need by contributing to the IHSAA Foundation. Make your tax-free contribution today at IHSAAfoundation.org. Drake Bowen, who had 358 yards of rushing just last week against Bishop Luers, held to 40 in the first half.
And maybe the bigger stat, 3.6 average per carry. He normally averaged just under 8.
They'll go back to Bowen. Bowen bounces it outside. It'll be a nice run, and with 1 second still on the clock, Andrean still has time for one more play if they want it. And Chris Skinner's going to take a timeout, so Skinner going to talk about it with his group. Owen picks up the first down, and the ball's at the 48. Well, talk about the two quarterbacks for Andrean, Billy Henry, Scott Ballantyne. So far, we've only seen Henry. And Chris Skinner says, well, that's Henry's got a little bit of a bigger arm. So perhaps he could be thinking something Hail Mary here, but you really have to be careful. Already looking at a 2-score deficit. And be sure to stay with us all day for more IHSAA state football action. Coming up after this game at 3 p.m. on Valley Sports Indiana, we'll have the 4A championship game featuring New Prairie and East Central. At 7 tonight, the 6A championship has Carroll and two-time defending champion Center Grove. Please note, because of a conflict with tonight's Indiana Pacers game, the 6A game will be available only on Valley Sports Extra, the app, and of course on IHSAATV.org.
How about that Carroll Ball Club beating undefeated Hamilton Southeastern? Center Grove. What else can you say?
They've been synonymous with this game.
Machine.
That's coming from a Carmel grad. You know how hard that is to say that, Jan?
You were humbled.
Final play of the half here. They are going to look to throw. Henry with pressure, and Henry goes down. A touchdown on the opening drive, a touchdown on the final drive, and a sack on the final play of a brilliant first half of football from Evansville Mater Dei.
Well, Evansville Mater Dei really just floating everybody back, protecting the end zone. Really nothing there. I just really like the way this defense of Evansville Mater Dei has played.
Mike Gable has to like it as well. Let's go down to the sidelines. Chris Mays with the head coach.
Well, Coach, your team came out and marched the ball down the field the first drive, and some momentum here going into halftime with another score. What do you think of your team's performance?
Well, that touchdown before half was huge. One of the pass was a big-time pass and big-time catch, but overall, our kids are playing with a lot of heart, stamina. They just want to play. And I don't know what's going to happen this second half, but I can promise you one thing. We'll give it everything we have.
All right, thanks, and good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Evansville Mater Dei has the lead in pursuit of revenge of the 2A state championship game. We're at halftime on the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Champions Network. The 50th annual IHSAA Football State Finals are brought to you by the Indianapolis Colts, presenting sponsor of the IHSAA State Football Tournament. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, presenting broadcast sponsor of the IHSAA Champions Network. And by the following: Forte Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the official sports medicine provider of the IHSAA. Wilson Sporting Goods, the official ball of IHSAA Sports. Indiana Members Credit Union, keeping it simple. Franciscan Health, inspiring health. Menards, save big money on all your home improvement needs. Indiana Careers in Construction. Learn more about apprenticeship programs at builttosucceed.org. Ivy Tech Community College, proud sponsor of the IHSAA Sportsmanship Program. Reach your goal at Ivy Tech. And by Bally Sports Indiana, television broadcast home of the IHSAA Champions Network. From downtown Indianapolis inside Lucas Oil Stadium, some complimentary football for Evansville Modern Day. The Wildcats have an 11-point lead here at halftime of the 2A state championships. Football not the only state champion being crowned around this time of the year. The 42nd annual Girls Cross Country State Finals were run at the Laverne Gibson Championship Cross Country course on a beautiful fall day. Defending champion Lily Cridge of Bishop Chatard would set the early pace. Cridge built a large lead, but Delta's Nikki Sutherland would make up 7 seconds in the final kilometer and make it close. As we hit down the home stretch here, Cridge would cross that line in 17 minutes, 14.6 seconds for the third fastest time in state finals history. Sutherland would come in at 17:17.5, just a 3-second difference. Lily Cridge wins her second straight state championship, and Noblesville claims their first girls cross country team championship. We then moved on to the 77th annual boys cross country state finals. That was later in the day. And there is Carmel's Cole Matheson, who set the early pace. He was looking to break the course record. Carmel's Tony Provenzano and Brebeuf Jesuits Cameron Todd battle for second. The trio pulled away a big lead on the rest of the field, but it is Matheson who wins in a time of 15 minutes, 2.8 seconds, third fastest in state finals history. Provenzano edged out Todd for second, with both clocking in at 15:11.2. Carmel would win the team championship by just over 3 points over Zionsville to claim their 17th boys cross country state championship. Congratulations to all the competitors at this year's girls and boys cross country state championships. Halftime here from Lucas Oil Stadium. It's the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Champions Network.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Inspired by touch, by play, by listening and laughter. Inspired by family gatherings and one-on-one conversations. Inspired by long walks, long lives, and lives simply lived well. Inspired by compassion, by healing, by grace and strength. What inspires us at Franciscan Health is you. Franciscan Health, inspiring health.
Some people see a huddle in the locker room. We see a second classroom. Some see a student athlete on the court. We see a future leader in the community. You see, high school sports in Indiana are special. That's because they're about learning and growing, not just winning and losing. Fans, I'm Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support education-based athletics in Indiana by buying a ticket to your high school's next athletic event.
Back inside Lucas Oil Stadium, the 2A state championship game. Evansville Mater Dei with a 14-3 lead over the defending champion Andrean 59ers. 2022 marks the 50th anniversary of the IHSAA football tournament.
Presenting Indiana High School Championship Football. The year 1973 marks the very first year of championship football playoffs.
In the inaugural event in 1973, there were 3 classes, and the games were played at the home field of one of the teams. In 2A, Greenfield Central beat Blackford 21-12. In 3A, South Bend, Washington, and Indianapolis Cathedral matched up in South Bend. Washington scored late to win the game 19-13. A couple of good ones. And an IHSAA tradition was born. Of course, we now play in the home of the Indianapolis Colts, Lucas Oil Stadium. But look back at 1973. The first football state championship. And let's go down on the field now with Chris May, who was with somebody that was in attendance for those games.
Yeah, how about this storyline, guys? Robert Falcons is the IHSAA assistant commissioner, nowadays in charge of the football state tournament. And in the 1973 South Bend Washington Cathedral matchup, you were in attendance.
I was at School Fields, 11 years old. I was a 5th grader at the time, and really wanted to be one of those Washington Panthers, and wanted to be the wishbone quarterback for Bob Beans Van Camp, and here I am today in charge of this whole thing. So what a start, and just very, very blessed and grateful to be here.
Life comes full circle, of course, the celebration of the 50th year now of an IHSAA football state tournament. Tell us how proud the association is and what it's like to be in charge here.
This is a celebration of our football programs and all 317 of them. And, we're coaches all over the place. Our officials are all over the place. Of course, the communities come out that are participating. Those 12 communities are doing a great job. This is the culmination of a lot of work during the course of the year. Our coaches have done a great job. Of course, the kids have played their butts off and doing a great job. And we just like the 2 days to have some fun and celebrate what's good about football in the state of Indiana.
And likewise, as the Colts have been here for a number of years and now decades, the quality of football played in Indiana, the quality of coaching, it seems like, has really come a long way.
The Colts are great partners with high school football. I can't think of any other professional franchise that has invested as much in high school football as the Indianapolis Colts. And were it not for the Colts, we're not here right now. And we're outside someplace and a little bit chilly, but we cannot be more happy to be partners with the Colts than what we are.
You mentioned it, coaches in attendance, referees, community members. For some folks, it's all about leftover food. For some folks, it's about shopping. But for Indiana high school football, this is the epicenter of the world today and tomorrow.
This is it. This is what we point to starting in July. This is what kids work for in the spring when they start their conditioning programs. And we try to make it a good show. We try to make an experience that will last a lifetime, and hopefully we'll do.
Robert, it's been a great show so far. We know it's a long way to go. Thank you for your time and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks.
Pat, back to you.
Chris, thank you. It is a memory for these kids. Jim Irsay, in fact, tweeting out, good luck to all the participants here this weekend. Evansville, Mater Dei, Andrean, the 2A, kicking off our coverage of football. This telecast is copyrighted by the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, videos, audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. Some of our young football fans here in attendance, they've had a great first half of football here to watch in our first game of what will be 6 over the next 2 days. Let's take a look at the Methodist Sports Medicine first half highlights. Methodist Sports Medicine is the official sports medicine provider of the IHSAA. And Mason Wunderlich got us going early, a touchdown pass to Ethan Stoles. And then this game-changing play just before the half, an interception by Spencer Turner, and Wunderlich cashes in right back to Stoles. They start the half and end the half in similar fashion. And Evansville Mater Dei has to be thrilled here, Jan, with how things stand at halftime. The stats bear that out. They have doubled up Andrean in total yards. And that penalty for the Fighting 59ers kept them out of the end zone.
I really think the start for Evansville Mater Dei really set the tone early, and then they scored, and then their defense kind of just took over.
These stats are brought to you by Herff Jones. 39 yards on the ground for the Andrean Fighting 59ers. Well, that stands out. Drake Bowen averages 130 yards per game. He had over 300 just last week. More importantly, Evansville Mater Dei has kept him out of the end zone. Andrean will try to change that here in the second half. Their head coach is Chris Skinner, and he's with our Chris May.
Thank you very much, Pat. Coach, what was your message to your guys? What it will take to get it done in the second half?
We got to play a cleaner game up front, both sides of the ball. We got to do a better job at the point of attack. Felt like they kind of took it to us a little bit. Not bad, but I mean, we're making too many mistakes up front, and they're controlling the line of scrimmage, making it difficult both sides of the ball.
We saw Drake hobble off and get his ankle retaped. Any worry or concern about his availability or health in the second half?
Nope. I mean, it's go time at this point. 2 more quarters left, so yep, he's going.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Chris and Chris, thank you. It is go time. We wouldn't expect anything else from Drake Bowen, but his status in terms of how healthy he is really is a big one here for the second half.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's got to be on the field. For me, one of the key stats, 0 for 6, Andrean on third down conversion. They've got to get a first down.
The second half is coming up next. Champions Network is presented by the Indianapolis Colts and Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance.
Fans. And then there are fans. The diehards. They're those that don't just have a seat at a game, but a home away from home. The ones who made home field advantage a real thing. Who believe the horseshoe isn't just a logo, but a way of life.
It's 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. You have 2 choices. Option 1, take 2 nanoseconds to reach over and put on your seatbelt. Or option 2, decide it's too much work for a Saturday and don't put on your seatbelt. As the seatbelt alarm continues to sing the song of its people, you roll your eyes. You're just going down the block, you'll be fine. You take a turn to the left, and that's when you see it.
Just wear your seatbelt. It's an easy way to save your own life. The Indiana Criminal Justice Institute wants to remind you that choices matter. Click it to live it.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. The 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family. Or the day of your last car loan payment. Much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree. We care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
The IHSAA would like to thank the following: Indiana Pacers and Indiana Fever, proud to support Indiana's game at all levels. Connecticut, life is better with Connecticut water. Herff Jones, a varsity achievement brand. Sharp Business Systems, saluting great athletes and even better students. Dellin Automotive, discover the Dellin difference. And Sport Graphics, turning our creativity and experience into your results. The house that Peyton Manning built, Lucas Oil Stadium, also the host of the IHSAA State Championships. Alongside Jan Bozier, I'm Pat Boylan. Well, Evansville Mater Dei, Jan couldn't have drawn that first half up much better. If you're Andrean here, you're going to start with the ball, and you're going to look for something similar that Evansville Mater Dei was able to do, an ability to set the tone in the second half.
Yeah, and I think that was the discussion at halftime. Listen, guys, we get the ball back. Let's get our game faces on. We know we can do it. Got to put a drive together. Got to convert on those third downs.
These are two teams that know each other very well. They were here last year. Both teams return numerous players from that game just a year ago. As you look in on the Andrean huddle, there's Drake Bowen right in the middle. His last half of high school football is coming up. Bowen, by the way, received another honor this week. He was named finalist for the Buck Kiss Award, which is given to the top high school linebacker in America. And he is one of 5 finalists. Puts into perspective the level of play he's at.
Yeah, and well, if you're going to go to Notre Dame, you're pretty good, obviously, and they see a lot in him. He is so quick on his feet for such a big man. He moves lateral, sees the field. He's what you want in a defensive linebacker.
He literally never leaves the field except for that brief spell where he was injured in the first quarter. He's the running back. He's the middle linebacker. He's the punter. He's in on special teams coverage. And you have a feeling that if Andrean's going to get back in this game, it's going to be on the shoulders of 34.
No doubt about it. But listen, he can't do it all. Those guys up front have got to hold their blocks just a little bit better and give him some room.
Bowen averaged 7.8 yards per carry this season. Less than half of that in the first half of this one. Bowen held under 4 yards per carry, 12 carries for 46 yards. And while Evansville Mater Dei doesn't have that one standout defender, as a group here for Mike Gable, top to bottom, 1 through 11, there's so much talent.
Yeah, I thought they played. The difference in this game for me is Evansville Mater Dei defense. I thought they swarmed to the ball. They really hit him being Bowen quickly, got multiple tacklers on him, and that set the tone early.
It is Micah Jones. It is Jacob Jones. There is Jacob back to return. And Cam Marks with Evansville Mater Dei holding on to an 11-point lead, looking for their first state title in 22 years. And Marks sends a kickoff into the end zone.
Wow. Got a foot in that, didn't he?
Excellent work there by the sophomore kicker. Marks was the one, by the way, who drilled that field goal early fourth quarter. It looked massive and in the moment last year in this game. It put Evansville Mater Dei up 9-7 before Andrean closed with the final 14 points.
I'm really going to be looking at the body language. How does the offensive line get off the football? Can they get Bowen going early? That will be key to get this drive started on the right foot.
Well, we thought this might happen. Andrean opening up the second half with Scott Ballantyne. Their quarterbacks are 1A, 1B. It's Bowen on the ground on first down. Chris Skinner told us on Monday, Jan, he's not afraid to use both of these guys. Scott Ballantyne helped win him a state championship a year ago, and now he's going to try to help lead a comeback here.
Well, sometimes you just have to make a move to get a spark. And certainly he was here last year. So, you know, it's no different than any other sport. Just bringing a player off the bench and see if he can create a spark for his ball club.
He started week 1, broke his collarbone. That's when Billy Henry came in, played a majority of the season. But both of these two kids have taken snaps in the tournament. And Ballantyne, the junior, is back under center. Drake Bowen, not much in front of him, able to push the pile for a couple yards. Will set up third down and short.
Well, the Evansville 4-3 front, at least up till now, has played incredibly well. They have just not allowed Bowen to get a lot of momentum, getting contact immediately. And when you play against a great back like him, that's what you have to do.
Bowen has one run of 12 yards and otherwise has been held in check. As Ballantyne feeds Bowen on third down, he's met at the line of scrimmage. Mitch Adler, the leading tackle, comes in with a huge stop.
Look at the senior here. Here's Adler. Just head up, lays a stick on it, power against power.
Well, when those blockers are set up, Bowen can really make guys miss, but right now he's struggling to just get past that interior of Evansville Mater Dei. And now Bowen, with his least favorite job of all of his duties, back again to punt here for the 5th time already today. This one is a lower line drive. We'll take a hop at the 38. Albig will field it and crosses the 40-yard line. And if you're Evansville Mater Dei, try to keep the foot on the gas here, Jan.
Yeah, but you want to control tempo. You have the lead, and you want to control tempo here. You're just going to take your time and execute and run some clock.
Enjoying the state finals? Help make sure the resources are available so that great games like these can be played forever by supporting the IHSAA Foundation. Go to the IHSAA Foundation website at ihsaafoundation.org. Make a tax-free contribution today. So here is Mason Wunderlich, 102 yards in the first half. Joey Pierre had 44 on the ground. A pair of seniors who walked off this out of this building runner-up a year ago. And they've done everything they can here so far to try to make sure they're wearing the blue medals by the end of the day.
Well, they don't have a lot of yards rushing. They only have 55, but it's kept their passing game honest, and that's been a difference.
Wunderlich has had good protection all day out of the backfield. That was Joey Pierre, his running back.
Just an out route, then yards after carry is an extra 2 or 3.
So Pierre on the ground on first down, out of the backfield on second down. And it sets up 3rd down and 3 here for the Wildcats.
You feel the tempo? They're just not in any hurry. They're taking their time. They want to execute. Really a good tempo right now.
Mater Dei 3 for 7 on 3rd downs today. Wunderlich will keep it on a designed read, and he's taken down a yard short of that 1st down marker.
Stop by 26, Joseph
Joe Kalachi comes in to make the tackle, Jan.
Yeah, pretty good recovery that time by Andrean. It looked like there was something, but they closed that hole really quick.
So 4th down and 1. Kind of in no man's land here. Mike Gable's got the lead. And he's going to stay on the aggressive front.
Look at that clock. Just spinning right now, and Evansville Mater Dei loves it.
4th down and 1. Here's Wunderlich right side, and he is really close.
Ooh, this is going to be close.
He needed to get to the 49, and look at the official spot the ball right down there on the marker. And he's just got enough.
Big play. Second effort. Got it. Let's take a look at it. Just a quarterback keeper. Good block right there. If that block doesn't happen, he doesn't have a shot.
Well, and his ability to fall so that his right hand was the further hand forward. Falling on his back versus falling on his front is the difference between a turnover on downs and a 1st down. Wunderlich just 11 yards on the ground, but they've been hard earned. And they move the chains on play action. Here's Hurtis, and a 1st down as Wunderlich continues to show his precision.
Just execution. Really good execution. Getting off the ball. Hits him in stride. Wow, he'd come back and get that. But still, mix and pass and run.
Wunderlich underthrew Ethan Stoles in the 2nd quarter on a deep ball, and otherwise, like every single one of his passes has been right where he's wanted to.
Yeah, he's he's not really pushed anything either. He's really been on his selection of passes.
Andrean showing blitz. It's Pierre reverses field. Found a seam, and with Andrean blitzing, it's Joey Pierre picking up 10.
That's called taking it to you. That's all that is. Take a look. Just desire, give me the ball, run square to the ground. Look at that. Twist, turn.
They'll mark him a yard shy of the first down marker.
He's been effective today. He really has.
There is the 5'8", 175 senior. Kind of a bowling ball back there. Sometimes a little tough to read for the defense.
I'm telling you, those guys are the hardest to bring down. Been there, done it.
It's Wyatt Stratman in the backfield now on play action. They'll toss a bubble screen. Luke McDermott past the first down marker and near in the red zone.
Take a look at the receiver, ISO. Evansville Modern Day's in a rhythm right now. They're spreading the field, and they have Andrean guessing defensively.
So far, this Modern Day drive really mirroring what they did on their first drive to start the game.
A lot of clock. That clock just keeps moving. This is exactly what Evansville Modern Day wanted to do. Eat clock.
They'll continue to do so with Pierre, who shows off his patience. And Pierre picks up 5 on first down. And it's that offensive line opening up room for Pierre, and they're setting themselves up with second and third down and manageable.
No question about it. The offensive line for Evansville Modern Day has been the difference maker in this game. No question about it.
And it is a line with a lot of experience. 3 seniors, a couple of juniors. Ethan Gooden, John Davidson, Cody Wells, Brett Wilkie, Austin Vanover. They don't get their names called that often.
Andrean needs to stop in the worst way.
Here's Pierre trying to bounce, and a flag is down. Pierre has the first down for the moment, but it's in the backfield and it's coming back.
Holding on the offense.
Wow.
10-yard penalty, spot foul, replay down.
Jan, this is only the 6th penalty in the game, but all of these coming at crucial times on crucial plays.
There it is right there, number 53. You can't grab that. It happens a lot. Got to keep those hands open.
So that'll push Modern Day back to the 27-yard line and set up second down and 16. Wunderlich hit as he throws, just lofts it up there, and a little too far for his running back Pierre. He had him out there, but the pressure made him throw it, I think, a beat too early.
Just let him a little early. You know, we played, for the most part, a relatively clean game. A few penalties. That never feels good from the backside, but just let him a little bit.
It's third down and 17. As Ethan Wunderlich, who has thrown for 127 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He did not have a touchdown in this game last year.
Right here's the killer punch. And Evansville Modern Day knows it. They know this could be the killer punch.
Wunderlich. Protection breaks down. Wunderlich able to evade it. Shovels it to Pierre. Oh, it was quite the athletic move by Wunderlich to avoid the sack. Now a very late penalty flag comes in. Pierre was taken down for a loss of 3. This will be an interesting call here. It came after the play and back around the quarterback.
Well, Andrean really does a great job in the secondary. There was not a lot of separation, and then finally the pressure got to him.
We could hear the microphone. It was on while Mark Hopper was talking to one of his officials.
Hot mic.
Sounded like he said he was going to wave it off.
We'll disregard the flag.
Man, you got great ears. That's amazing, Pat.
Well, we don't know what they were calling here. Wunderlich a nice job to avoid the sack here. But the Andrean pressure ultimately puts the drive to an end.
Well, Drake Bowen was really in there from his linebacker position. Got the pressure on him from the left side.
They are going to try a field goal here with Cody Wells. Mike Gable said his max is 48. This is a 47-yard attempt from Wells.
Oh, baby!
And Wells puts it through!
How about that?
Cody Wells from 47 on a kick they'd be impressed with on Sundays.
Yes, sir.
We've seen some big plays in this one. Maybe none bigger than delivered by the kicker. Evansville Mater Dei and Fort Wayne Bishop Luers matched up in the 2002A final. Mater Dei led by quarterback Jake Schiff's 218 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running back Nathan Wildman's 169 yards and 4 touchdowns crushed Bishop Luers 56-10 to claim their only state championship. That was Mike Gable's 4th season. Looking a little younger there, although Mike Gable looks no part of 70 years old.
No way. I hope I look that good when I turn 70.
On Cam Marks with the 48-yarder.
But you know, Pat, even with that field goal, just a 2-touchdown lead. Well, that's good for Evansville Mater Dei. It's still doable for Andrea, but they got to get going. They have not really shown much spark here in the second half.
There is the man of the moment, Cameron Marks. He's the kickoff specialist. Tyler Sitzman is the place kicker in shorter kicks. Marks has the bigger leg. Got that brace on his right arm. He put one through the end zone a moment ago, and this one headed right back there beyond the goal line. Well, you never know what you're going to see, but the kicking game of Cam Marks has really been the storyline here, Jan, of the third quarter.
Well, no runbacks, puts them in great field position. We talked about that, kind of something you don't talk a lot about, but when it's effective, it sure raises his head.
So Scott Ballantyne and that man Drake Bowen here. This offense still looking to get going.
Now you got to make plays. Andrea's got to make some plays. Plenty of time, but they need to make some big plays.
An offense which has scored 33 points per game this year, held to 3. Here's a little shovel pass. Micah Jones trying to catch the corner and hit out of bounds. Well, Evansville Mater Dei, I don't think, Jan, they've missed an assignment defensively here all day.
No, absolutely well said, Pat. Their defense has been stellar. They have put enough wrinkles in, hit low when they needed to. They've really never allowed Bowen to get going. Very impressed with their team tackling.
That's Tanner Halbig, who is also the returner for Evansville Mater Dei, in on the tackle. Ballantyne, a flag comes. Valentine lost the football, and Mater Dei fell on it. We'll have to check on the flag. But for now, it's a Clay Martin fumble recovery.
Let's see what the call is. This could be disastrous.
It came on the opposite side of the field by one of the line judges.
Illegal formation. Decline. First down.
Oh my. That's a mental mistake. The ball, he just comes in and strips it away.
Mitch Adler, who has been everywhere.
See right there at the right hand, does a good job of getting it on the ball. Smacking it away. That's twice now. Big turnovers on Andrean.
Now with a 14-point lead, here is Joey Pierre bouncing outside. Pierre tries to catch the corner inside the 10 down to the 7.
And he just seems like he's running stronger. He's having fun. Shoulders are square. Cutting way outside. Nice cut there. Boy, he's been so effective today.
Oh, with all the spotlight on his counterpart Drake Bowen, Joey Pierre has shown up for a huge afternoon. Now 70 yards on the ground. Wunderlich, fade route, going back for Stoles. It's knocked away. That was defended well by James Mantle.
Yeah, Mantle lost him for a second, but did a great job of getting that hand right there.
Second down and goal at the 7-yard line.
They were looking for the trifecta to the senior Stoles, and Mantell able to knock it away. Mater Dei on the cusp of a 3-score lead. Pierre breaks a tackle, and Pierre down to the 3.
25, Joey Pierre on the carry.
Straight ahead blocking. Isolation play. Look at the hole. Got a hand on him. You don't have to be the biggest guy to be effective. He just runs with authority, hits the hole hard.
They'll spot the ball just inside the 4. So 3rd down and goal. Wunderlich with a pair of touchdowns on the day. They'll go through the air, play action, and it was defended well, but maybe a little too well. A penalty flag comes in at the end.
A lot of contact right there.
They had McDermott smothered. 2 guys on him, but not able to avoid contact out of the defensive backfield.
There's no penalty on the play. The ball was tipped. The line of scrimmage.
Let's take a look. Let's see if we can find the tip from our excellent crew here. Right there it is.
Just enough. Drake Bowen. That's a huge play.
That is, because that wipes off the interference.
A great shot, and Jan, a terrific job by the officiating crew to catch that.
Yep. Great job by our crew to get it as well, because that changes everything, because that's the correct call.
Mark Hopper, Derek Carroll, Jay Slater, Lonnie Sapp, and Michael Stoffers. Does a job well done on an easy play to miss. It's a high snap. Oh, Sitzman just snuck it through. So Tyler Sitzman puts through the field goal. It's a pair of field goals in the second half, and Mater Dei's up 17.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
My life has changed tenfold. I mean, from what I was doing prior to sheet metal, I can't even express how great it's become.
Future's bright in this industry because it's not going away.
With the union trades, I am earning an associate's degree without any college debt whatsoever.
Right now is one of the greatest times to start this process. With our benefits packages and our retirement packages, we're very tough to beat.
Hey, Indiana. Let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
Well, Evansville Mater Dei with a 17-point lead late in the third quarter. The Wildcats on the shoulders of Mason Wunderlich in the first half, and on the right legs of Cam Marks and Tyler Sitzman. A 47-yard field goal, and then a much shorter attempt from Tyler Sitzman. They've got a pair of kickers. Both have been true here in the third quarter. And Mater Dei now up 3 scores.
It just feels like Evansville's Mater Dei has been in attack mode all game long. They have been the aggressor. Still, there's still time. But as of yet, Andrean has just not found that spark.
Well, look in Micah Jones' eye there, kind of sums up the day it's been for Andrean so far. He's one of the many athletes on this 59ers group that has the ability to change things quickly. And he'll get a look here from the 3. It's Micah Jones. And Jones is dropped at the 25-yard line. So out comes the Andrean offense. They've used 2 quarterbacks. Each have turned it over once. Their offense has yet to get going, Jan, under 100 yards. Drake Bowen hasn't broken out a big one. Are you trying to change things up yet if you're Andrean?
Well, you are who you are. It's hard to go away from what your comfort zone is. But I think, we talked about it multiple times. Evansville Mater Dei's special team has pinned Andrean back multiple times to start their drives.
This one will start on the 25. Andrean's been the victim of tough field position a lot of the day here so far. Valentine on the ground to Bowen. And this has kind of been the story. Not a bad day for Bowen, but it hasn't been a superb day. The type of day that Andrean needs it to be if they're going to come away with their second state championship.
Well, the superb play of Clay Martin all game long, number 52. He's the one that got a hand on him.
Chris Skinner, who was a receiver and a defensive back in the early 2000s for Andrean when they won a championship when he was a player, now trying to head coach him to a second straight. He's got his work cut out for him. And here's Bowen, who again pushes forward about a yard shy of the first down marker. And again, we don't know, Jan, if he's 100% or not after that early injury, but so far those breakout runs that happened last year have not happened yet.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looks like he's running hard. He just has had very little openings. And their lack, quite honestly, of any type of passing game has just allowed Evansville Mater Dei linebackers to just really defend the run only. Look how crowded Evansville Mater Dei is. Look at they're just all run.
Low snap on 3rd and 1. Bowen has enough for the first down. So 3 carries for 13 yards here on the drive so far as the clock ticks with just over a minute left to play in the third.
Much better hold that time for Andrean, but he's not popping that extra 3 to 4. To your point, is the ankle not enough to do that? I don't know, but typically we have seen him take that for extra yardage.
Valentine to the air, quick hitter. There is Jacob Jones on the reception. So if you're Andrean, time not yet your enemy. You're still late in the third quarter here. And I think you need to score any way possible.
I think they got to start thinking about playing with just a little more pick-me-up here, a little more sense of urgency. Well, there's certainly another quarter to go. They've got some work to do.
See if they can get a playoff here by the end of the third quarter. Valentine with 1 on the clock gives it to Bowen. And Bowen is dropped at the 45. A pair of field goals, a short one and a bomb from Cam Marks have Mater Dei up by 17. Start of the fourth quarter at Lucas Oil Stadium. Andrean with their work cut out for them. They are driving here. Let's go down on the field now with Chris May.
Thank you very much, Pat. I'm joined by Andy Matus. He's the youth football manager with the Indianapolis Colts. And Andy, I know the Colts are involved in football in so many different ways, but the youth of our state and educating them on how to play the game is important to you guys. I know a couple of initiatives. The Colts Coach of the Week is a big-time program you guys have going.
Yes, absolutely. As a youth football department, we have a whole lot of push behind ownership and leadership to do what we do. Our Coach of the Week program, we recognize 11 great coaches throughout the year. Actually, one of them will be coaching later today at East Central. So yeah, the more that we can do to honor these coaches doing great things in their community, the better.
I know also you have a Sunday 7-on-7 program?
Yes, so opening registration will open in about 2 weeks, but Sunday night 7-on-7 is a great open gym concept, so you don't have to be a part of a team. Any individual can come out. Sunday nights starting in February through March, we'll have 4 sessions of that. So keep an eye out, and you can go to Colts.com/SN 7-on-7 for that.
Thank you, Andy. Everybody's excited to be here at Lucas Oil. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
So we start the fourth quarter here. Andrean looking at a 3rd down and 3. Misdirection to Bowen. He'll be short, about a yard short of that first down marker.
Well, I know we said it multiple times, but it's go time. Andre, I think, has to pick up the pace. They need 3 scores. They got to catch fire here.
There is Chris Skinner with his 2 quarterbacks, and he said, look, there's that phrase you'll sometimes hear, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have 0. We don't subscribe to it. We think we've got 2 really good ones. We trust them. They've got different skill sets. It's Scott Ballantyne's turn to try to orchestrate a large fourth quarter comeback.
I think they got to get this passing game going. Open it up some more.
On 4th down and 1, Bowen is smothered.
Maybe second effort.
Tried to push. Hard to believe what we're watching. 3rd down, 4th down and 1 for Bowen is almost a sure thing. But this Evansville Mater Dei, you love the big guys, Jan. That defensive line, that linebacking core has been everywhere.
Right there's the statement of the game. The surge that they have been getting. Take a look here. Maybe the best runner in the state, Mr. Football candidate, and they get the surge.
And it was Connor Wiley who came in around the outside.
Wow. Is that a statement, Pat, or what? I mean, they had to have that. They just literally had to have it. And Evansville Modern Day said, no, not today.
Well, it's just felt like the whole day has been played at the pace, at the style of Evansville Modern.
Completely agree.
Final 12 minutes as Pierre picks up 5 on first down on the left side. Well, Joey Pierre, he's just been consistent, Jan. He hasn't broken out any huge ones, but it's been a consistent 4 and 5 yards. He's set up this Modern Day offense for success all day.
Yeah, he's forced Andrea to respect their running game. He doesn't have to be spectacular, but he's been enough of a running game that it's allowed their passing game to be complementary.
Mason Wunderlich through the air has been accurate, completing 63% of his passes. 2 have gone for touchdowns. The 2 on the day. This time Pierre taken down after a pickup of just 1. And now 3rd down and 5 for Modern Day. And if you're Andrean, you're down 3 scores. You don't have the ball. Got to get the Wildcats off the field as soon as possible.
It's hard not to be repetitive, but the defensive effort by Evansville Modern Day has been spectacular. Game changer for me, quite honestly.
Wunderlich on 3rd down and 4. Protection stays in. Wunderlich throws off his back foot. He's got a man wide open. Oh, and McDermott just mistimed the jump. He was there. And even with Wunderlich being chased down, he threw a terrific ball. And McDermott jumped just a beat too early.
Boy, it looked like I had a chance, didn't it? Just wasn't able to get up enough.
When you hear people talk about Mason Wunderlich, they talk about that big college-ready arm. I've been so impressed with his precision, his accuracy.
Yeah, and there's marked improvement from last year. He was really good this year, but as much of the game in his head and an athlete has been spectacular.
Jacob Jones will field it at the 10 with some momentum. Jones was taken down from behind. Looked like a chance at a horse collar there. Was never called. No flags on the field. 19-yard line is where Andrean will start. And you talk about playing this game, the pace, the style of Evansville Modern Day. Well, Andrean going to start in poor field position again.
Yeah, got up high on that one. Certainly can make a case there. Surprising, the time of possession's not that far apart.
$18 minutes for Andrean, 19 for Modern Day.
But the big stat continues to be 3rd down conversion for Andrean. Just 1 of 9, and that's a stat that really sticks out.
And they've only been penalized 3 times on the day, but one of those penalties took away 4 points. And the difference between 7 and 3 right now is the difference between a 2-score and a 3-score comeback with under 10 minutes left to play. Valentine sends Bowen in motion. They'll toss it out to him.
Just well played. Absolutely well played by Drew Martin, number 22. Take a look at Drew Martin, how he plays this. Reads him. See, he gets a quick break. That's key. He reads it and then makes a really good tackle on the big guy.
Well, Jane, you talk about the week of preparation that comes into this. You have it happen a day short compared to Saturday's games. You have Thanksgiving to battle around. This Evansville Modern Day defense has looked like they've known what's coming all day.
I think they dreamed about Andrea for almost a year, wanting this opportunity.
Valentine on 2nd down and 11. Valentine is flushed. He has to throw it away. Andrean with just 42 passing yards between their 2 quarterbacks. An interception and a fumble.
Just nowhere to throw the football. The receivers are well covered, and that's been the storyline of the game. It's either been pressure on the quarterback or the receivers can't get separation.
Andrean just looking to string together positive plays at this point, and we're under 9 minutes left to go.
Just know where to throw again.
Valentine on the run. He'll have to tuck it. Goes out of bounds at the 25, so he did pick up 6.
And it gets harder because the secondary knows he has to pass. So, in fairness, they know he's going to pass, but they've just not been able to get the passing game going at all today.
I'll say he stepped out at the 24, so it's 4th down and 5, and you're in 4-down territory now. So that play was significant. It makes this more manageable. You get the feeling that Evansville Mater Dei senses they can deal the knockout blow right here.
Where do you see 4th down conversions?
And a delay of game penalty on 4th down and 5. Or do they get the timeout off first? One official signaling a delay.
Timeout. Andrean.
And Chris Skinner did get the timeout just in time. Skinner's team made so few mistakes a year ago. Right now they've got an uphill battle. 8:42 left in the 4th of the 2A state championships.
All right, I have your identification and your address is correct. So next, would you like to be an organ and tissue donor?
That's a good question. Well, I think yes. I would love to be an organ donor.
In addition to Pacers basketball, my family's a big fan of 2 things: rescue dogs and great Connecticut water. So when we adopted Walter to join Bailey, he too gets his bowl of water right from our Connecticut K5 drinking water station. We take our water quality seriously, which is why we also have a whole home water treatment system. Improve your water like we do. Visit ConnecticutIndy.com for your free in-home water test. Connecticut, official sponsor of the Indiana Pacers.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We can talk about dominating in all 3 phases of the game. A couple of touchdown passes from Mason Wunderlich to Ethan Stoles. This defense for Mater Dei has held Andrean to 3 points. And the kicking game has added a little distance for the Wildcats. And altogether, it has just been a complete effort so far for Mike Gable's group.
Yeah, no question about it. If you'd have asked me, could they handle, at least so far, Andrean in the manner that they have, I'd said absolutely no way. But at least for now, I see it.
4th down and 5 on their own 24. Andrean trailing by 17 in the 4th quarter. Valentine chased again. Valentine on his feet, lofts it up for the 1st down. Oh, some great composure there by Valentine. And he finds Drake Bowen out of the backfield.
Boy, had to have it. Stayed calm, found his man, stayed with him. Take a look here. You can see Bowen right there. Bowen just keeps running, which he should do.
Valentine by that point is out of real estate. Bowen has to be there or they're turning the ball over. Great job by Valentine to avoid the defender. Nearly tripped him up as well. So the chains will move, but the task at hand is still looming over this Andrean 59ers offense, who has scored just 3 points today. Bowen in motion. They'll fake it to him. Toss deep down the field. He's got a man out there. Patrick Clacks down to the 30.
Is this the spark they needed?
Well, Valentine broke his collarbone in the first game, and Mike Skinner said he's still working back some of that arm strength, but he's deadly accurate.
Yeah, and the receiver never seen the ball, so he kept running and really gets up and gets that ball. Let's see if Andrean can get something going here. Big play.
First chunk gain here for the 59ers of the afternoon. Comes midway through the fourth. Valentine, a little misdirection. It's Clacks on the reverse. Clack breaks a tackle. That was Micah Jones, who picks up 2. And it was a hard-earned 2. So far, you just can't fool this modern-day defense.
No, they do a great job of, the term is stay home. You have to stay home when you're on the opposite side to protect reverses and the edge and those types of things.
Valentine is 4 for 5 here, all coming in the second half. They'll go back to the air. Valentine this time rolling left. Valentine can't find a receiver, has to throw it away. His 2 incompletions have been of that variety. Chris Skinner, his junior quarterback, trying to fix this offense on the fly.
Yeah, it's really hard when the defense knows you have to pass. What's open right now is that underneath first level.
Angel Ramirez in motion on 3rd down and 8. Valentine being chased from behind. A penalty flag comes in. He got it to Clacks. And did the ball come out at the end? Looks like if it did, Clacks got back on it.
2 flags.
Pickup of 4. A couple penalty markers. A lot to sort out here. Meanwhile, we are nearly halfway through the 4th quarter. And Andrean's 3 points also represent the amount of scores that they're trailing by at the moment.
This offense has never been held to 3 points. That tells you how good Evansville Modern Day has played. Andrea's lowest margin is 7 in the opening loss to Maryville.
We have 2 penalties on the play. Illegal formation, offense, helmet to helmet, defense, offset, replay, 3rd down.
Well, Andrean Jan has had 2 illegal formation penalties. One of them took back a touchdown, and this one offsets a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah. And once again, when they've happened, when you're behind, every penalty just seems so huge when you're trying to mount a comeback.
They have just come at the worst possible moment for the 59ers so far. We'll replay 3rd down and 8. This time they try Bowen. Bowen cuts right, breaks a tackle, and there's the Drake Bowen you're used to seeing. Bowen picks up 11 on 3rd down and 8.
Gotta go. Gotta go. Take a look. Just an isolation dive. Pulls guards from the left and the right. And that's where Bowen has been so successful all year. They need to pick it up, though.
Andrean in the red zone for the 2nd time today as the clock continues to tick. Under 6:40. It's back to Bowen. And Bowen, nearing that 10-yard marker, gets tripped up. Well, he's your workhorse. He's your best player. But when you give it to him, the clock keeps moving too.
That's absolutely right. And I'm just, you just think perhaps you just go from a no huddle here. You need multiple scores. You got to have some clock left.
Valentine looking across his body and was looking for the tight end. Joe Kalachi. Once again, modern day had a beat on it.
I love this look at the passing game. You see what the quarterback sees. He just tried to power it in there. Really good defense again by Evansville Mater Dei. Got to get in here, Pat. Got to get it in here.
Mater Dei showing blitz. They'll go on the ground to Bowen, who cuts back. Picks up a couple, but is well short. The clock will move. It'll turn to 4th down.
You see how quick he gets hit here. Has to make a cut there, and that slows him down enough. Connor Wiley gets to him.
Well, those defensive backs, the corners, do such a good job of helping in run defense. Here is 4th down and 2. Andrean needs it. Play action. Ballantyne being chased. Ballantyne's got to make a play, and he runs out of bounds.
Just nothing there. It was so well covered. The edges were covered. The secondary was covered. Nothing there.
And it was Clay Martin who was Ballantyne's shadow.
Well, they tried to go play action to give themselves some options, but pressure just forced him out of bounds. There just was nothing open.
Well, still 5:21 left to go in this one. But Evansville Mater Dei can now start to feel it. Mason Wunderlich, Jan, with a couple of touchdowns. We've seen a couple of key field goals here in the second half. But an appropriate, perhaps, ending to Andrean's chances, coming on the heels of some real strong defensive performance by Mater Dei. As Pierre is taken down at the line of scrimmage.
They're going to run down the clock as far as they can and just try to get another 1st down.
When you look at some of the yardage numbers, thanks in part to that drive by Andrean, they're closer than they've been most of the game. They're a little misleading. About 40 yards separate Mater Dei and Andrean. But seemingly in every key moment, Mater Dei has made a play, and Andrean just hasn't had that same sharpness we saw a year ago. And Chris Skinner will take a timeout here.
Brought down by 26, Joseph Galacci.
Timeout, Andrean.
If you're Mater Dei with a 3-score lead, you can do a lot worse here than force Andrean to use their timeouts.
Yeah. No doubt about it, Pat.
Let's take a look now at our Indiana Members Credit Union highlight of the game. Indiana Members Credit Union keeping it simple. We talked about this defense. This might have been the game changer, Jeff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They compounded their problem with throwing it away here. We talked in the keys of the game. Pass protection, been brilliant. Some big plays, but the run defense has been outstanding.
Spencer Turner with the INT in what was a 7-3 game. Still felt very much up for grabs. That pick by the junior, and then the ensuing touchdown just before half. I thought Chris May said it well. You set the tone, and then you took momentum into halftime, which Andrean was sorely looking for. They knew they were probably going to trail, but could they go into the half feeling good about themselves? And that play right there really, I think, changed the dynamics of two teams heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and they came out and played just as well in the second half as they played in the first half. Coach Gable said, listen, if we control the tempo, we play our game, we can be hard to beat.
And look at Wunderlich just pushing the pile. Mike Gable joked we're still waiting on our quarterback speed, but he's got the strength, he's got the drive, and he's playing like a quarterback with revenge on the mind here today.
Yes, sir. He's played an outstanding game. Team has absolutely rallied around him, played really well, has not forced a lot. Let the game come to him.
Wunderlich, who is still deciding where he will play in college, but hoping to go to the next level with a state championship. Pierre has a couple on the left side. And Andrean will use their final timeout.
Timeout. Andrean, third and final timeout.
If you look at this Evansville modern day defense, they're ranked 30th against the score, giving up just 14 all year long. So they certainly told us that they can keep people out of the end zone. Now, to do it at this level, really been good.
Well, even look back to last year's game. They held Andrean scoreless in the first half. They held Andrean to 7 points through 3 quarters. It really wasn't until Drake Bowen had a superstar type moment in the fourth quarter. He had a strip sack, fumble recovery, and then 2 fourth quarter touchdowns. It's easy to forget how well Evansville modern day played defensively in this game last year for most of it as well. When you look at that 21 number, a little misleading too.
91 total yards, but this is the key. Only 3.6 yards per carry. They have contained him.
And through the air, Ballantyne and Henry are a combined 9 for 19. Less than 100 yards passing. More importantly, a couple of turnovers. Wunderlich's been a star today. Pierre's been a supporting man. Does a nice job to stay in bounds there, keep the clock moving. And it's a clock that Andrean can't do anything about now. Well, the balance for Evansville modern day, it's something that Chris Skinner's group prides itself on. It's something that Mike Gable and his team have achieved. Pierre has run it 21 times. Wunderlich has thrown it 20.
21 seniors on this Evansville modern day ball club. Both teams have over 20 seniors.
Wunderlich on 3rd down and 7. Lofts it over the middle as receiver fell down. So Andrean will get the stop. But they need about a score a minute at this pace, and they're going to need some heroics. And frankly, to find some traction they haven't found today.
No, just have never been able to change quarterbacks. Tried to go to the air, just really never was able to get any type of momentum going at all. Consistency, specifically in the passing game, or the lack of. That's truly, for me, that was the difference maker. And no question, Evansville modern day's defense was a game breaker.
Get over here.
Jones with 40 and space to run, but it's quickly swallowed up. We'll hear special teams coaches talk about lane integrity. There is a flag down. Well, the lane integrity, whether it's been special teams, whether it's been defense, modern day hasn't missed an assignment all day.
They'll wave off another one, I think.
They have picked up the flag. 2:52 is all that's keeping Evansville modern day from their second state championship.
How about that? They can hang on here, and it certainly looks like they are. That's pretty special.
Ballantyne steps up, fires, and it's caught. That's Jones, Jacob Jones with the reception.
Good passing route.
Slow to get up.
Yep, he was. Goes up high to get this one.
They've really got some athletes at the wideout position. Clax is terrific. Micah, Jacob Jones. We talked about just the depth that both of these teams have at receiver. Andrean just Hasn't been able to find him consistently enough.
Back out! Back out!
Valentine trying to scramble, being chased. That's Dar who will chase him down. And Valentine will have to settle for just a couple of yards running out of bounds.
We've had how many times in this game have we talked about the secondary of Evansville Mater Dei have just not allowed any separation. That has just been a key part of this ball game.
Nothing has been easy for Andrean, and I'm sure Chris Skinner feels like they've shot themselves in the foot a couple of times. Penalty brought back a touchdown. Penalty brought back an opportunity to have the ball on that last drive inside the 15.
You're fine, you're fine, you're fine.
Jacob Jones in motion. They'll throw to him. Jones with space ahead. Inside the 25. Jones dragged down at the 20. And a late penalty flag does come in here. They are signaling face mask.
Got a personal foul. Face mask on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Let's see if we can find a face mask. Right there, I think is what they got. Or right there. Could have been either one of those. Got the hand up around the grill. Here's another look. Yeah, for sure that one right there.
They'll spot him at the 11. And a pass over the middle is deflected. Blacks couldn't haul it in. Final 2:10 here, so Andrean will need a touchdown. And they'll have to start the onside kick game. No timeouts for Chris Skinner. As the 59ers look to reach the end zone for the first time today. 210 yards. They've moved the football.
Yeah, the difference in total yardage is not that much at all.
This is Bowen, who picks up 4. The big play from Bowen as it happened. Bowen had 358 yards just last week. He's been held under 100. His long run of the day is 12, under 4 yards per carry. Valentine on a quick snap. Third down. Aired it out into the flat. There's Jones who cuts back. And Jones takes it in for a touchdown, Andrean. Jacob Jones stopping on a dime.
Great effort here. Goes up to get this one. Underneath route. Just puts on the brakes and then sprints to the end zone.
So Andrean with 1:45 left is into the end zone for the first time. And now P.J. Cusick, who had the field goal, will look to make this a 10-point game. And Cusick knocks it through.
Well, you know Andrean was never going to stop fighting. Just a quick out pattern there. Tough throw across the field. Was able to get something in there. Not a lot of time, but listen, hey, you never know, right? Onside kick. Funnier things have happened. You got to believe that something can happen. You really do.
It's faint, but there is still a pulse.
There's a pulse.
Scott Valentine, who knows what it's like to lead his team to a state championship. I never had to overcome anything quite like this. But that drive will keep his team alive. He'll likely need to recover at least one onside kick, probably 2, to get this done. The heavy work is still ahead of them.
How about the total stat yards? Evansville Mater Dei 232, Andrean 221.
And how big are the 2 field goals here? This would be a 14-10 game without him. Cam Marks hit the 47-yarder.
Passing yards, 124, 128. Leader in that category is Andrean. Rushing yards was pretty close too, 108 for Evansville Modern Day, and 93 for Andrean, 108 for Evansville Modern Day as far as rushing yards.
So much of this, though, for Andrean has come once they've gotten down 2-3 scores.
Very true, very true.
So here comes the onside kick. It is bounced around, and Modern Day fell on it. That was a really good attempt there. Andrean gave themselves a chance. But Spencer Turner, the man who had the interception, is the man who is, in all likelihood, going to seal this game.
Well, you look at being the state runner-up from a year ago. You look at film. Hey, what is it we can do just a little bit different? Or where did we miss last year?
And now Mason Wunderlich can simply put a knee to the turf. He'll have to do that at least once more. But what a fulfilling moment for the senior quarterback. For a program who's waited 22 years. They've come close so many times. This is their 7th appearance. They've been just short runner-up 5 times in modern-day program history. And that history has all been behind that man, Mike Gable.
26th year.
And at age 70,
wow,
will become the oldest coach to win a state championship in state history.
That's got to feel special.
He has had his group ready, and they have answered the bell. Some satisfying handshakes on the sideline. Mason Wunderlich is one kneel down away. Kneel to the turf. A year ago, it was heartbreak. And today, it ends in jubilation. For the first time in 22 years, Evansville Modern Day are state champions.
Just what an effort. The game plan was perfection, execution, perfection. I just can't say enough good things about this Evansville Modern Day defense. They, for me, was the game changer. And then the offense had enough execution. They were able to put points on the board. You mentioned that those field goals were huge.
Jan, when you draw this up, you say you want to score first. You want to set the tone. You want your defense to play well. You want to go into the half with some momentum. You want to play well in all 3 phases.
Yep.
Those field goals certainly showed that in the 3rd quarter. This one went exactly how Mike Gable drew it up.
Yeah, I felt that opening drive was everything. It was everything. He set the tone. They loved playing with the lead. They had a little bit of chip on their shoulder for being a runner-up last year. Just everything kind of went their way today.
Mike Gable, in his 26th year, is a state champion for the 2nd time. He's with our Chris May.
Coach, congratulations. Your guys played well, it seemed like, in all 3 phases of the game.
We certainly did. Our defense gets some credit for the second half. I thought our offense took advantage of the first half. We got 2 guys can kick field goals, but we got a never-say-die attitude. Last year we had tears of disappointment. This year, tears of joy.
How important was it? How big of a focus was it coming in? Your defense's ability to stop Drake Bowen.
Well, he was banged up. I saw the play where he kind of turned his ankle, but Drake or not, our team was bound and determined to give it their best effort, and I think that's probably enough anyway.
Meanwhile, your senior quarterback, Wunderlich, with a great first drive and really throughout the game played well.
He's a team leader, team captain, and really happy for Mason. He's done a lot of great things for our program, but today it was a culmination of a great career for us. We're very pleased.
Looking at what your group of guys have been able to do this season, culminating with this championship, what do you think about this group of guys over here?
Well, this group of guys worked hard. Obviously, like every team, they worked so hard, but they had a great confidence and a great belief in themselves. They trusted each other, and we had a lot of no-names out there that were making great plays all day. So that's what we based everything on this year. Brotherhood as coaches, and I have to say my assistant coaches are the very, very best. They keep me in line, and we got brotherhood of coaches as well.
Modern day, he's always been quick to deflect the praise, give it to the players, to the coaches, but what about the career of Mike Gable? Congratulations, Coach.
Well, it's been a while since we did this again, but we're happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congrats.
Well, he looked a lot younger in 2000, but still doesn't look anywhere near the age of 70. Mike Gable, congratulations. Let's turn it over now to the IHSAA Blake Rest Mental Attitude Award. It's proudly presented by the Colts.
Presenting the Blake Rest Mental Attitude Award on behalf of the IHSAA Executive Committee is Chris Conley, principal from Delta High School.
We would like to welcome former Commissioner Blake Rest and Andy Mattis, Youth Football Manager for the Indianapolis Colts, to assist with the presentation of the 2022 Blake Rest Mental Attitude Award for Class 2A football. The Indianapolis Colts, presenting sponsor of the IHSAA State Football Tournament, will award a $1,000 scholarship to the winner's school. On behalf of the IHSAA, please join us in saying thank you to the Indianapolis Colts for their generous support of student athletes and high school football. After we announce the name of the recipient, we invite his parents to join him on the field. The recipient of this award was selected by the IHSAA Executive Committee. The student was nominated by his principal and coach and excelled in mental attitude, athletic ability, scholarship, and leadership during his 4 years of high school. The winner of the Blake Rest Mental Attitude Award for Class 2A football is Joseph Pierre of Evansville, Modern Day.
Hi, I'm Bill Brooks, former wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. In the game of football, it's more than what takes place on the field. It's the mental toughness and willingness to become a leader in the locker room and your community. This award embodies what we instill in our players. On behalf of the entire Colts organization, we congratulate you on winning the Indianapolis Colts Blake Rest Mental Attitude Award.
Well, with all the stars on this Evansville Modern Day team, I think sometimes Joey Pierre gets a little overlooked, in some very well-deserved praise and appreciation for the running back. He had 86 yards here today. He's a 3-year varsity starter on football, 3-time All-Academic, All-City, and has over 3,000 career rushing yards to go along with 27 touchdowns. He's also involved with wrestling and baseball for the Wildcats. A very well-deserved honor for a player that was really pivotal in the Wildcats turning things around, winning the state championship.
Yeah, he might have been under the radar a little bit, but I'll tell you, the performance today, he was a difference maker. He kept the running game honest, allowed them to keep the field spread, and that was the difference of the passing game because he was able to get some running yards.
Let's go down now with Chris May.
Joey, senior year, state championship victory, Mental Attitude Award. How's Thanksgiving weekend going for you?
I mean, it's awesome. I'm so proud of this team. I couldn't ask for anything more.
Personally, being named the Mental Attitude Award winner out of all the seniors in this game, what's this mean to you?
It means everything. I couldn't do anything without this team, my coaches, my trainers. I mean, it's perfect. I'm so proud of everyone.
Mom, Lori, step up in here. I saw you got a huge hug from him as he made his way over here. What's this entire state tournament run, state title, and now Mental Attitude Award process been like for you?
Oh, surprised until a couple of minutes ago, but it's wonderful. He's had an injury all year he's been dealing with, and he's been icing and taking care of it and wants to keep playing, and I'm very proud of him as well as the entire team.
Once again, Joey, congratulations. A very special award.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pierre excelled in the classroom. He's ranked 9th in his senior class, as well as a member of the National Honor Society. We saw his parents there, Jim and Lori. He's going to attend Indiana University and will study business. Quite a cap to quite a career, and when it ends with a state championship and a Mental Attitude Award winner, tough to beat it.
Yeah, and when you are so good in the classroom and the time that takes and the effort you play, and he plays multiple sports, you are a busy person. And I think it's and he's a leader. His coach talks so highly of him, and just his performance today, performance in the classroom, leader. He is a fine young man.
Well, when we looked at this game, we thought the rushing attack might be pivotal, and the job by Pierre certainly was key in Evansville Mater Dei's victory. Let's go back down onto the field with Chris May.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Coach, it seemed like early on your team had some trouble moving the football. Overall, your assessment of the performance here today?
Yeah, we made too many mistakes, and like you said, not being able to move the football consistently, that was a problem. You know, they had a good game plan, and they were taking away some of our windows in the outside for the RPO game, and you know, if teams are going to do that, we got to be able to hit them inside, and we just weren't able to do that. So that's a credit to their D-line. Their linebackers were flying all over the place. Yeah, I mean, I think that was, you know, our defense played very well. Played well enough for us to be in the game against a high-powered offense, but we just didn't generate enough on offense on our end.
Obviously, to be here back-to-back years, of course, this is not the result you wanted today, but a great group of 22 seniors you've spoken about. You've got to be proud of these guys.
Yeah, I told the radio guy it's hard in the moment to think about, you know, the last 2 years, you know, the last 4 years, but obviously the last 2 years, the ride we've been on, you know, being able to play 29 games is pretty special. Yeah, you know, it's going to take a while to, I guess, kind of fully appreciate that with the sting of the loss here in the moment. But it's been my biggest senior class since I've been the head coach, and it's been a long journey. They got to play in 3 semi-state games, 2 state championships. So they've really, you know, raised the bar and continue to hold the tradition that's set by those that came before them.
Thanks for your time. Great showing by you guys.
Thank you.
Pat, back to you.
Chris, thank you. We get, Jan, the opportunity to speak with, to work with a lot of head coaches around this state. We're privileged to do this job. I will say, Chris Skinner, one of my absolute favorites. I think he always is just so concise and profound in victory. He's humble in defeat, and he always seems to have just the right perspective for his group.
He does. He's a player's coach. He's the type of coach you'd want your son to play for, and he represents his school. And as you talked about, he played there, so he there's something special there, no doubt about it. You know, one of the things people don't understand, when you played to the state last year, all your underclassmen got multiple extra practices. So when you have these big tourney runs, that just has more practice for your young guys.
That's a very good point, Jan. And this is a group that Andrean are going to graduate some key players. Drake Bowen is the obvious one there. He is a senior. He will be headed to Notre Dame. You're going to see him on Saturdays at Notre Dame, probably on the baseball field as well. Scott Ballantyne led this program to a state championship as a sophomore. Easy to forget that. He'll be a senior next year. This is an Andrean group. They're going to graduate a lot. A lot of talent is going to leave this program. This city, this team, this school has a way of finding itself back late in tournament runs despite all of that.
Well, the school just in general, we've had them in basketball, we've had them in football. They have a win-only type attitude, and when they talk about their goals at the beginning of the year, regardless what sport it is, it's get to the state. That's the bar that this school has, and boy, they fulfill it pretty well.
Mason Wunderlich had 2 interceptions in the loss last year, 2 touchdowns in the win today. He's with our Chris May.
He is the senior state championship quarterback. Mason, how does that feel? Congratulations.
Thank you. It feels great, man. You know, last year came up all the way and had a great year, but we didn't, you know, top it off with the blue ring. But, you know, this year we knew what it was going to take, and we just kept working hard and came out with confidence and fire, and that really showed today. And just all in all, a great game and a great team win.
So much was made of this being a rematch from a year ago. How much did that motivate you coming back to face the same team?
You know, it was a big motivator, and obviously knew they had some great players, and all around their team was really, really good this year again. But we knew we had also had a great team, and, you know, if we come out with confidence, it's going to be a great game, and everything went our way tonight. Well, today, and all in all, just a great win.
Your first drive, you guys come out, march the ball right down the field. It really looked like on your sidelines there was a sort of a quiet confidence early on, and especially after that first drive. What was the feeling for you and your guys?
You know, it's a great feeling. And, you know, when you score a touchdown on the first drive, then go out there, your defense gets a stop right away. You knew we had the momentum going to the first quarter, obviously, and coming out at halftime, another big stop, and, you know, moving it down, getting another field goal, keep scoring, and we knew what we had to do, and obviously got that done.
Going out as a senior, as a state champion, as we mentioned, what are your memories, do you think, going to be of this group of guys you've played with?
Definitely, you know, last year, not winning, you know, losing in the state championship last year, and then coming back the next year and winning it. You know, just a great team, great family, great coaches, great fans, just all around. Modern Day is the best.
Congratulations. Go enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Pat, back to you.
Mason Wunderlich, the 6'5" senior, is a state champion here along with the rest of his Evansville Modern Day teammates. We had actually the chance to speak a little bit with Mason on Monday, and I'll tell you, if you didn't know the kid was a high schooler, you would have had no idea. He has maturity well beyond his years. It's going to serve him well. He's going to play collegiately, doesn't know exactly where yet. It's going to serve him well in the future.
Well, he's a super humble kid, and he showed it when we talked to him, and certainly in talking to him there, very humble young man.
Well, Spencer Turner may have made the play that changed this game the most. It was just before halftime. He had an INT, made other huge plays as well throughout the afternoon. Let's go down on the sidelines, Chris May.
That's right, Pat. The interception, Spencer, arguably the play of the game. Definitely got a lot of momentum, if not control, this game on your side. What did you see? How did that play unfold?
I dropped into where I was supposed to be. I was watching the quarterback. I saw him look over to where I was. He threw the ball, and I just caught it.
Tell us a little bit about being back here against the same team. I just talked to Wunderlich and said, you guys really looked like you had a quiet confidence about you all day today. What did you think, and what was going through your head throughout this afternoon?
We wanted it so bad. We were close last year, and we were seeking revenge, and we got it.
And so I assume you had a great Thanksgiving, and this just caps it off. State champions and getting the blue ring, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations. You've got a great squad behind you. Enjoy this victory.
Thank you.
In fact, Jan, we were able to talk with a few key members, the players of Evansville Modern Day before the game, and they said all the right things. They were humble. They didn't overplay this revenge dynamic. I always like them talking with players after the game. Oh, yeah, this was on our mind 24/7.
Well, and, you know, the thing I like about it is that you're right, they were a little low-key. They didn't really talk much about revenge, although they can use it now. But when we talked to them, I think they had some unfinished business to say, and they didn't want to put extra pressure on themselves. It's one thing to come back here, but both of these teams came back here with some of their key players. And so that kind of added another piece of a level to the intensity of this game, the fact that we had two of the stars that were here last year play in this big game today.
Ethan Stoles caught the first touchdown. He caught the one just before halftime. This Modern Day group, this wide receiving core, is one of the better receiving cores in all of high school football. They've got 5 seniors that all caught 20 balls or more this year. They've got 7 players that caught at least 10 passes. Wunderlich has a lot of options. Ethan Stoles, Jan, they set the tone on that opening drive with the touchdown. They almost cemented that tone just before halftime with the touchdown to Stoles.
Completely agree. Mentioned it at the time. There's something to be said for how you come out and play with an opening drive. And they had confidence. They executed. They set the tone early, and I think they kept the tone. For the most part, they kept that tone throughout the game.
I think it was just so impressive as you watched Andrean look to mount this comeback. There were so many moments where you said, okay, is this where Andrean gets it going? Is this where they start to get themselves back in the game? Look, this is tough to do, whether you're playing on Saturdays, whether you're playing in this building on Sundays. Tough to do at any level, but for high school, a high school group, you're talking about 15 to 18-year-olds. I mean, just the consistency of this performance stands out. There were no major valleys. That one large pass in the fourth quarter to Patrick Clax, you started wondering if Andrean was going to start getting it together, and it was just a calm and consistent effort on both sides of the ball for Evansville Modern Day.
Yeah, Evansville Modern Day never let them get going. It's not because Andrean didn't want to, and they tried, but Evansville Modern Day's defense, for me, was the key to this game.
He's Jan Bozier. I'm Pat Boylan. Chris May on the sidelines. has been working our interviews here throughout the afternoon. This is game just 1 of 6. We hope you will stay with us throughout the day into tomorrow as well. A reminder that the 6A game is going to be on the Bally Sports Plus app. The Pacers do play tonight on Bally Sports Indiana. And then tomorrow, 1, 3, and 5A games will be played right back here at Lucas Oil Stadium. In the 2A state championship, Evansville Mater Dei beats Andrean 20-10. A touchdown on their first possession, and Evansville Mater Dei overcomes their defeat on this field from a year ago, and a little bit of irony as they do it. This is the third rematch in Class 2A in the state championship in its history. The first rematch, 2000-2001. Evansville Mater Dei beat Lures in 2000. They lost in game number 2 in 2001. That was Mike Gable back in year 4. Move forward 22 years later. Mike Gable is on the reverse end of a back-to-back, in where the team that comes up, state runner-up a year ago, is able to overcome that to win a state championship this year.
Well, I'll tell you, this game coming up in 4A, New Prairie against East Central. New Prairie 13-1, and East Central 12-2. Those are two teams that do one thing, and that's win two. So stay with us, because that's going to be a big-time game as well.
We are watching Evansville Mater Dei get these blue medals, as they are deserved Class 2A state champions, as Jan mentioned.
That's got to feel good, man, doesn't it? Look at those young men, man. You play all your life to get a chance to get here and then to get the blue ribbon. Man, that's just got to feel good.
And as you noted, New Prairie and East Central are on deck. They are awaiting here for the Class 4A matchup. New Prairie beat Kokomo by 1, and East Central, with that victory over Roncalli, really a statement.
Yeah.
In the semi-state last week. Couple of close games in semi-state. Hope you're in for a close one here coming up after this.
You know, the thing about that, injuries are such a big part of this game, and even Joey Pierre's parents talked about how banged up he was and still was able to play at a level that what he needed to play to get that running game going. A lot of bumps and bruises go out through, entire season, and you just got to just keep working and say, listen, I got to overcome those. Sometimes you can't, but boy, you're really banged up in most cases, both teams.
Well, you talked about it, the difference between losing in sectionals, maybe even in your sectional opener, and playing all the way into Thanksgiving, past Thanksgiving. It's 5 weeks of a difference. It's almost half of a season's worth of a difference. The bumps, the bruises, you noted the positive, the more practice time, but these kids on both ends of the field and who will be competing here all week, they have gone through over a month's extra work to get here, and I don't think that should be overlooked either.
Of course, we know who the wrestling coach is of Evansville Mater Dei, so they'll get to enjoy us today, guys, in the weight room as soon as we get back.
Mike Gable, who was the wrestling coach for 29 years of the Evansville Mater Dei Wildcats. Mike Gable, in a lot of ways, he is the history of this program. After winning in 2000, he's waited 22 years. You ask him what it means to be back here, what it would mean to take home a state championship 22 years later. Well, he tells you that it tells you that he's old. I will say, and you'll be able to back this up as a former player and somebody who has achieved a lot more at this level than I ever could dream of. Being able to accomplish this over a 22-year stretch, and don't get me wrong, Evansville Mater Dei had some great runs in between, including last year and numerous state runner-up appearances, but it really is a testament for Mike Gable to want to keep going, and what it takes to coach at this level. Really impressive, and he'll deflect all the attention. We saw it in his interview with Chris May. He deserves a lot of attention.
He does. He loves his administration. Everybody has to work together. He loves these kids. He never gave up. That's a long time. You think some of these coaches who have coached as long as he has, they love it. This is their life.
He's Jan Bozier. I'm Pat Boylan. You saw Chris May on the sidelines. Let's take a look at the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance game highlights. And right out of the gates, Ethan Stoles from Mason Wunderlich set the tone. Then just before halftime, with Andrean down 4, the game changer as Spencer Turner comes up with the pick. Mason Wunderlich cashes in. Ethan Stoles, his second touchdown of the day. And Mason Wunderlich's 2 touchdowns on the day come in the first half. The defense gets the strip. And here is the shorter of the 2 field goals, but the final points on the board for Evansville Mater Dei. Ultimately what turns into a 10-point win. And we referenced it, Jan, a few times on the broadcast, but the kicking game is not something that often comes into massive play at the high school level. You'll see teams go for it on 4th down if they oftentimes don't have the kickers. But Evansville Mater Dei, they have the kickers. Cam Marks hit a big one in this game a year ago. He drilled a 47-yarder in this one to go up 3 scores, and then Tyler Sitzman, who hit the extra points and hit the field goal there, kind of putting the finishing touches on it. The kickers really shine today.
They really did. Look at how many non-returns there were on kickoffs. And then the extra points, or excuse me, the field goals were the real deal breaker for Evansville Mater Dei.
At Cam Marks' 47-yarder, one of the big highlights of this one as well. We saw Evansville Mater Dei scrambling the kicking unit on, and look, Mike Gable said he's not afraid to use his kicker out. He was asking his team, what's Cam's max? And they said 47, 48. And it's one thing to say that. Typically you don't see that happen unless it's an end of the game scenario where you desperately need a field goal. For Gable to have the trust in Marks to trot him out there from 47 yards out, a kick that you saw really changed the complexion of an NFL game. A 46-yarder was missed just yesterday and changed the complexion of that Lions game just yesterday. Well, Cam Mark comes in and drills a huge one in the 3rd quarter. And it was kind of in that moment, Jan, I think, where everybody starts to realize this is Evansville Mater Dei's day.
And I'll tell you, he doesn't show much emotion, but I just seen him raise both fists in the air. He's one happy man. Finally, he's got the state championship.
The trophy presentation, the blue medals, and that large state championship trophy. It's going to look good in that Evansville Mater Dei trophy case. The 50th annual IHSAA Football State Finals are brought to you by the Indianapolis Colts, presenting sponsor of the IHSAA State Football Tournament. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, presenting broadcast sponsor of the IHSAA Champions Network. And by the following: Forte Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the official sports medicine provider of the IHSAA. Wilson Sporting Goods, the official ball of IHSAA Sports. Indiana Members Credit Union, keeping it simple. Franciscan Health, inspiring health. Menards, save big money on all your home improvement needs. Indiana Careers in Construction. Learn more about apprenticeship programs at builttosucceed.org. Ivy Tech Community College, proud sponsor of the IHSAA Sportsmanship Program. Reach your goal at Ivy Tech. And by Bally Sports Indiana, television broadcast home of the IHSAA Champions Network. 1 down and 5 to go as Evansville Mater Dei are the 2A state champions. Coming up next, New Prairie and East Central Jan.
Another dogfight. Stay with us. I'll tell you, teams that don't know how to lose.
A couple of teams that have had great seasons. Mark Janes, Lance Shive, and Rich Nye will have your coverage of that one. And thank you to our entire Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Champions Network crew. For Chris May and Jan Bozier, I'm Pat Boylan. Thanks for watching the 2A state championship as Evansville Mater Dei wins their second title in program history and their first in 22 years.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Inspired by touch, by play, by listening and laughter. Inspired by family gatherings and one-on-one conversations. Inspired by long walks, long lives, and lives simply lived well. Inspired by compassion, by healing, by grace and strength. What inspires us at Franciscan Health is you. Franciscan Health, inspiring health.
Some people see a huddle in the locker room. We see a second classroom. Some see a student athlete on the court. We see a future leader in the community. You see, high school sports in Indiana are special. That's because they're about learning and growing, not just winning and losing. Fans, I'm Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support education-based athletics in Indiana by buying a ticket to your high school's next athletic event.
In high school, I played lacrosse and basketball. It taught me a lot of responsibility, a lot of leadership.
In high school, I wrestled. I was captain of my wrestling team. It gave me a drive and determination that if you work hard, you put the work in, you'll get that back.
Working together as a team is one of the best things that I learned playing sports in high school. It goes over into working into the construction field, as you got to work together as a team to get the job done.
Like, at least throughout senior year, I never really imagined that I would be in construction. I didn't think about it. I didn't know anything about it, to be honest. Once I did kind of get into it, like, I realized that it was a different environment for sure that I could get into.
When you start into one of our programs, one of the first things that you hear is, well, college wasn't for me. We do have college programs. Our programs are state certified college educations through Ivy Tech.
What led me down the path to join the union trades was my family and my dad. I saw him go to work every day, get up every day at the crack of dawn, and always work hard to take care of his family, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps.
I love working with my hands. I love working with tools. Even before I got in the trade, I've always had tools. I like putting stuff together or taking it apart, working on the car with my dad. I love tools.
Some of the great benefits that this career will provide you are your health insurance. I recently had my first baby, and the insurance did a tremendous financial help. I also know that there's a pension that I'm working towards for my retirement.
We are a pay while you learn program. So over the course of that 4 years, rather than necessarily having to go $150,000 to $200,000 in debt on student loans, you could earn.
Even though I didn't go down the path of traditional college, they still offer an associate's degree in applied sciences, and that's what I'm working towards.
And I work at school, if I'm driving with my kids, because I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I would like to be like, hey, I built that, that's where you're gonna study, so that's one of my prides, seeing my finished work. Pretty nice.
I love having all the benefits. You can work, go to school, you're getting paid for it, you're not having to worry about all the student debts and all that.
The union trades kind of provide you with a plan. If you don't really have one, they tell you about retirement, they tell you about the apprenticeship programs and making a good wage and having my apprenticeship paid for and being able to make money while going to school.
The benefits 30 years down the line, you need to stop, you need to talk to your mom, your dad, and ask them, what's the benefits of getting that pension check? I guarantee your mom and dad's going to sit there and tell you there's nothing more important than being 55 years old and being able to retire and not have that worry.
My life has changed tenfold. I mean, from what I was doing prior to sheet metal to now, I can't even express how great it's become.
After 2 years, I'm happy with my decision because the pay and the benefits are great. I'm set up for the rest of my life.
Future's bright in this industry because it's not going away. I mean, it's a lot of technology out there, but you still need hands-on and people to do things that computers or robots can't do. So with this industry, it's like I said, it's not going away. It'll be here as long as time will be here.
I do a lot of racing on the side, cars-wise, so my dream is to be able to travel with racing as well, and this career path will get me there.
But then I would also like to, within a few years, move. My daughter and I, we absolutely love the beach, and we want to get a house on the beach. And with this career path, then the good salary that we actually make, that's something that I'll actually be able to afford to do for us.
To all the high school seniors that were in my shoes who didn't know what they wanted to do and they knew college wasn't for them, don't overlook construction. There's a lot of good benefits, there's a lot of good brotherhoods out there, and there's plenty of trades to where you can find something that you're going to enjoy.
The Indiana Careers in Construction Association is proud to partner with the IHSAA.
Well, the Coaches Association wanted to have a tournament, and they really got the media involved, and the key piece was getting Bob Williams. He used to write the Shooting the Stars column, and he kind of took off on it, talked about why there should be a tournament and everything, and so that's when the coaches got a chance to meet with the IHSAA and get a playoff start.
Presenting Indiana High School Championship Football. The year 1973 marks the very first year of championship football playoffs. The Indiana High School Athletic Association presents the Class AA Championship Contest between Greenfield Central High School and Blackford. And the gridiron of Greenfield is set for the championship game.
And as we celebrate the 50th year, this game, it's meant a lot to my family. I had a brother that played high school and collegiate football, and I remember going to watch him play and how important that was to an individual community. And that was North Posey Vikings, and they traveled to Brownstown, I remember, and the whole community lined up outside of town, and they did a caravan all the way to Brownstown to play a tournament game. And again, it was something the community to celebrate. That they are a community, and it's their team with their uniform on, with their name on it, that is representing, and everybody is proud to be part of those types of events. And our 50th anniversary of football has got phenomenal events and phenomenal history, and every community in the state can probably tell a story similar to that.
And I was fortunate enough to be at the very first big school state championship game in 1973. School Field in South Bend, Indiana. The hometown Washington Panthers were taking on the Indianapolis Cathedral Fighting Irish. Great game, freezing cold. As an 11-year-old kid who always wanted to be the wishbone quarterback for Bob Beans Van Camp's Washington Panthers, it was a great experience for me. And then 50 years have elapsed, and in that time I've been a coach. I played high school football, and now I administer one of the greatest football tournaments in the country. And very, very proud of that association, very, very proud of the coaches and the players and the administrators who help us put this tournament on. 50 years is a great longevity, and we're looking forward to 50 more.
As far as the venues, I know we went around the state, and at the first ones, it was not a neutral site. So it was in South Bend, it was in Mishawaka. Whoever was the home team got to host the tournament. And one of the things I know that one of our founding fathers wanted to do, John Friend, said, hey, we need to bring this to Indianapolis. So the tournament eventually moved to even high school places in Indianapolis to get the Indianapolis market involved. When the tournament came to the Hoosier Dome, I think we took another step up. You know, that was the Colts have been a big part of the promotion of Indiana high school football, and going there, it was like a dream for those kids. So when you were coaching a team, for instance, and you started talking about the opportunity to maybe go play in the Dome in Indianapolis and taking your community there, I think it just made the thing even more special for the kids involved.
The first time in the tournament, when they moved it to the Hoosier Dome, there was a lot of excitement among the coaches and fans, and it was a big crowd. I do remember that, and I remember when we got a chance to play there, just going down and practice, and our kids' eyes were wide open and taking everything in. So it was a lot of excitement involved in that. And in fact, I remember when we were playing in 90, something happened, and I looked at the ref. I said, oh, God, I said, the whole East Side's going to be after me. I said, we get beat because of this stupidity. But you know, that first year we had a big crowd, and but everybody did. Everybody was excited about going into the Dome and playing in the Hoosier Dome.
So the state finals are all a fabulous idea. It's a carrot at the end of that stick that we hold out there for these young athletes, that if you do the right thing and you work hard and you take care of your business in the classroom and become those student athletes that you're supposed to, then yeah, maybe someday in that weekend after Thanksgiving, you'll be able to play in a state finals game at Lucas Oil.
I don't think people realize how important high school athletics are while they're in the moment of being a high school athlete. And you've heard me say 50 years ago I was one of those kids, and you know, today as I look back on the lessons I learned being a football player. I look back on the lessons I learned from great coaches, teachers, and administrators. And I think we've grown that with respect to making sure it's a focus for everyone. Back then I think it was an ancillary thing to being a coach and being a player. Now it becomes our focus, as we say, student athletes first. And so we're taking these students and teaching them as athletes.
Yeah, wow, it's hard to believe it's been 50 years of IHSAA football tournament. The state finals, to me, I always think about, you know, the family aspect of it. And for years going to the state finals, some of the best performances you see come in the state championship game on this stage, and it's just really amazing to sit back and watch that happen in front of you, and those kids to, you know, have that opportunity to be able to play on that stage is really awesome.
Well, it's really great to see where our tournament has gotten to now. If you go all the way back to where you had to qualify, and there were only 4 teams and 3 classes in, and now they're all in, and we got 6 classes. We're playing in one of the best facilities in the country. You know, you bring people in from all over our state to see what we do. You know, the pageantry before the game, during the game is second to none. The attendance level, you know, we have more people at our state finals football weekend than any other venue in any other sport in our state. It's just unbelievable to see where it's gotten. I can tell you this, but being on committees around the country, we are the envy of several other states because the Colts let us use their stadium, and we got all these great teams coming into play. So it's come a long, long way, and again, I think it gets better and better every year.
Nothing happens here at the association without great partners, and the best partner is Indianapolis Colts. And when the Indianapolis Colts became involved in high school football in the state, it exploded. And now you look at the state championship, we are one of the few high school associations that celebrate their state championship in one of the finest football facilities in the world, and that's Lucas Oil Stadium. And then we do it in the background of our partner, the Colts, with their steep tradition and passion about high school sports. It just doesn't get any better than that.
Congratulations to everyone at the IHSAA. What a wonderful asset to our state and our community. You put the kids of Indiana first. The Indianapolis Colts could not be more proud to support such a wonderful organization with such wonderful people. So thank you for all you do in our community.
I just hope the fans enjoy it and appreciate it. Appreciate what the players and coaches do and what the Colts have done. But I really hope they enjoy the atmosphere of being downtown, because it's a big deal for the kids, I can tell you that.